welcome you back. We are here for Game 2 coming up from Hyatt Stadium. John Winkler alongside Blake Dean, but let's go through the starting lineups for Game number 2. As for the O'Gorman Knights, Trenton Fisher will lead off. He's the second baseman. Charlie Huners, the shortstop, will bat second. Sullivan Schlimgen will be playing in center field and batting third. Hunter Denboer is the right fielder batting fourth. Zach Dunn, the first baseman, will bat fifth. Brogan Moffitt, the third baseman, will bat sixth. It'll be Jack Stuckel, the left fielder, batting seventh. Andrew Bloom, the catcher, batting eighth. And Billy Leibel, the DH, will be batting ninth. For O'Gorman, Rylan Arbogast is on the mound for the O'Gorman Knights in game number 2. For the Pierre Governors, it'll be Nolan Peterson to lead things off. He's the second baseman in game number 2. Kate Kaiser will bat second and play short. The center fielder will be George Stalley batting third. So both teams have their second baseman leading off, their shortstop batting second, their center fielder batting third. Charlie Simpson, the catcher, will bat fourth. Grayson Hunsey, the third baseman, will bat fifth. Sun and Shine is in the lineup. He's batting sixth and playing left field. Weston Northrup will be able to hit for the first time this year, as he'll be playing right field and batting seventh. It'll be then Cooper Twilger, the first baseman, batting eighth, and Matthew Brewer, the DH, will bat ninth for the Governors. And J.J. Buckholz will get the start in game number 2 here for Pierre, looking to get their win into splits and go to 11-8 on the season before having the doubleheader against Yankton on Sunday to close out the regular season. We will step aside for a minute. We'll come back with the start of game number 2. You're listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR, watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping wants to make it easy for you to get that lush green lawn and that yard haven that you've been dreaming of. Visit dakotasprinkler.com to make appointments for sprinkler system spring startup, service calls, fall winterization, and landscaping quotes. Trust Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping's professionals to get you through the planning and installation to make your landscaping needs a reality. Visit dakotasprinkler.com today.
With any dream, the wind won't always be at your back, the sun won't always be shining, and some rain is going to fall. American Family Insurance is like a good, solid roof that you can trust to protect your biggest dreams. With plans that could save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. Also, you can continue to dream fearlessly, no matter what comes your way. American Family Insurance.
Visit mfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Contact the Brittany Shufflebind Agency, LLC, 224-6627. As we welcome you back here, the start of game number 2, the Pierre Governors are on the field as they are getting set. J.J. Buckholz is on the mound, and he will deal with the O'Gorman Knights, as it'll be Trenton Fisher leading off, Charlie Huners batting second, Sullivan Schlimgen will bat third, Hunter Denboer, the right fielder, batting fourth, Zach Dunham, the first baseman, batting fifth. It is Brogan Moffitt, the third baseman, batting sixth, Jack Stuckel will bat seventh. Andrew Bloom, the catcher, batting eighth, and Billy Leibel, the DH, will bat ninth. Rylan Arbogast is the pitcher for the O'Gorman Knights in game number 2. J.J. Buckholz, this will be for J.J. his first start of the season, 7th appearance overall, but his first start, 9 1/3 innings so far. He does have a save to his credit. 6 hits, 8 runs, 5 of them earned, 13 walks, 12 strikeouts, an ERA at 3.75 and a whip at 2.04. Batting average against at 167 for J.J. Buckholz. Says Blake, this is a guy that's with the way that his ERA is. We talked about Trevor Rounds having the ERA that kind of had to try and get back down. Buckholz had a bad outing to start the season. He did not get out of an inning. He did not get recorded out in his first appearance, and he has worked his way to an ERA under 4 and a whip of under 2. As the first pitch is over for strike one at 7:18 here for game number 2. But that just kind of tells you how good he really has been over his last now 6 outings.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, obviously with it being a short season like it is that's a
and of course
base hit for Fisher to start the ball game here for the Knights. But to your point, one bad outing, especially as and really it was not a good outing in any sense of the word, that first outing of the year for J.J. Buckholz. But to your point, the fact that he's now able to lower his ERA under 4 really speaks to not only how good of a pitcher this kid is, but really just how talented of a baseball player he is in general.
First pitch swinging by Charlie Huners is popped up, foul territory. Twilliger at the dugout will make the catch. whether he put his glove over into the dugout to make the grab or not. Good job by Twilliger to find where the dugout's at. Maybe a little bit of help from his teammates, which should be helping him out anyway, to get there over to the dugout, make the catch, and retire Huners on the first pitch. And there's one down with one on here in the top of the first inning, and it brings up Sullivan Schlimgen. Here's the first pitch. That is upstairs for ball one to Sully Schlimgen. Again, that is one, regardless of how this first inning goes, maybe even one to circle back, because that's a difficult play on a pop-up on the infield, as this will be cued off the end of the bat. Pass Buckles to his right. It'll be fielding the glove flip from the second baseman. Peterson was not going to be in time, and it's an infield single for Schlimgen, who can hit the ball probably. I mean, I'm being a little facetious, but whatever. But he can hit the ball about 600 feet, and I mean that in, again, what Blake said. But the last two hits that he's had.
Sound it out, John.
Facetious. There we go.
There you go.
It's first and second. But the last two hits, he's hit the ball not even combined 100 feet, and he's gotten two infield singles. Guy that can hit the ball. I mean, he can put a hole through a wall out in left field. And that time, the last two hits, both infield singles, and it's first and second here with one out.
Just goes to show you the type of athlete he is. And honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up as one of the finalists for Player of the Year in Class A, because what can't the kid do?
And with a batting average at .368 coming into this doubleheader, he's got the protection of the guy at the plate right now, and Denmore, who has been able to then be able to get maybe see some better pitches, because when you have somebody on base, you can't just say, hey, we're first and second, let's go walk the bases loaded, because we got Denmore behind him. You got to go and attack him, and he's able to take advantage of it and he's probably going to receive some votes for player. I mean, O'Gorman's going to have probably if neither one of these two guys win Player of the Year for Class A, that they're gonna be two of the top three votes probably for Class A. They're gonna. Yeah. The reason why they don't is probably because they split the votes between the two. 3-0 pitch is over for a strike, and the count's now 3-1 here to Hunter Denmore.
And not to take anything away from Denmore, because he's also had a fantastic season. If you look at the offensive numbers, Denmore's had a better season as far as things go. But really, to me, the thing that sets Schlimgen apart is just his ability on the defensive side of the ball behind the plate. I mean, I think really, if you're looking at catchers in the state of South Dakota, it's Sully Schlimgen, and then everybody else is on a tier below.
3-2 pitch will be upstairs for ball four, and the bases are now loaded here with one out, as it goes from a leadoff single from Fisher, a infield single from Schlimgen, and a walk to Denmore, and it will bring up Zach Dunham, the first baseman here in game two. And then on top of that, when you talk about behind the plate, well, now he's going to go play center field in game number two. You don't see a whole lot of catchers go out and play center field after, regardless of catching game one or catching game two, and flip and vice versa. It takes a special player to do something like that. As the first pitch to Zach Dunham is taken for a strike. Bases are loaded with one out, and here at the top of the first, the 0-1 pitch, swinging a miss. It's 0-2. Either want a ground ball here, pop up on the infield, or a strikeout for J.J. Buckles to get this second out. I'd rather bring up Brogan Moffitt with the game still tied and 2 outs than deal with any other result. Here's the 0-2 from Buckles. Swing. Did he swing? No, he did not swing. Can we check? And he did not swing, says the base umpire. And again, where Matt Clark, the base umpire, where he's standing at, unless it's very, very obvious, and maybe for us back here, it seemed like he did swing, but it's going to be really hard for him to make that call that he actually broke the plane. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. It took one extra pitch. And Dunham, who got a piece of it, was fouled in the tip of mitt of Charlie Simpson. And there's 2 down with the strikeouts of Dunham, and it brings up Brogan Moffitt.
Big strikeout there by Buckles. It was Dunham that got the big hit in game number 1 that really started that 6th inning for the Knights. Big strikeout there for Buckles here with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
So here is now Brogan Moffitt, the third baseman. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1. It is Sun and Shine out in left, Stally in center, Northrup in right, Hunsley at third, Kaiser at short, Peterson at second, Twilger at first, and Simpson behind the plate. Here is the 1-0 pitch upstairs, and the count's now 2-0 here to Rogan Moffitt. Moffitt in game number 1, he did not get a base hit, but he reached base 4 different times, was hit by a pitch twice, walk, and also reached base on an error. Buckles got a fire strike, 2-0 pitch. That is your strike, and the count's now 2-1.
So now you take the pressure that was going to be on Dunham to get the hit, and you put it one spot down the order. And not that Moffitt can't do it, because he certainly has the capability, but a lot less imposing maybe is Moffitt than Dunham, and even the two guys above him who, like we talked about, are player of the year caliber guys.
Counts 3-1 here to Moffitt, so Buckles has got to fire a strike and a good hitter's count here for Moffitt to try and give O'Gorman the lead. 3-1 pitch, that is skied into left field. The long run coming in for Sun and Shine. He'll be underneath it. He'll make the catch. That one turned a little bit more of an adventure for Sun and Shine, but he does make the catch, and the Governors tiptoe out of danger in the first inning. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 3 men left on base. We head to the bottom of the first. No score between Pierre and O'Gorman as the Govs will come to the plate. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Looking for your next new or used car, truck, or SUV? Then go no further than the comfort of your own home. Shop online at lambmotor.com. On lambmotor.com, you'll find the vehicles Lambs has in stock. You can schedule a test drive or your vehicle's next tune-up all online. New or used, shop for it all online anywhere you are. Lamb Motor has the right vehicle for you. Lamb Motor in Oneida and online, lambmotor.com.
No one likes to have electrical problems, but when they happen, call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. With over 28 years of experience, Todd's Electric can handle any type of electrical problem, whether it's residential, commercial, or agricultural. Their knowledgeable staff knows and understands the importance of your home, business, or ag facility and are prepared to help. Call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. That's 223-2518. Todd's Electric, serving the Pierre and Fort Pierre areas. The line to power.
Bottom of the first inning, Pierre Governors no score as they come to the plate, and they will have their lineup as Nolan Peterson leading things off. Kate Kaiser will bat second. He's the shortstop. George Stally will bat third in center field. It'll be Charlie Simpson, the catcher, batting fourth. Grayson Hunsley, the third baseman, batting fifth. Sun and Shine, the left fielder, bat sixth. Weston Northrup, the right fielder, batting seventh. Cooper Twilger, the first baseman, batting eighth, and Matthew Brewer, the DH, will bat ninth, and they will go against Ryland Arbogast, who, for Arbogast, will make his sixth start of the season. All 6 of the appearances have been starts. 2-0 on the year, 25 hits allowed, 15 runs, only 6 of them earned. So he has got himself with 6 walks and 16 strikeouts, a 1.68 ERA and a 1.24 whip. The batting average against that, 238. So O'Gorman's got some really good pitchers on their pitching staff. Their team batting average against at 210, the team ERA at 2.74, team whip at 1.40, and also it kind of helps when your last name is Arbogast. You got yourself a pretty good family member that is one of the best South Dakota pitchers to come through the state, and now at South Dakota State. He's got some pretty good genetics already being an Arbogast. First pitch will miss outside for ball 1. But we'll see if the Governors can do what they did in game number 1 offensively and keep getting base hits, finishing with 9 hits in game number 1. See if they can continue that against a pitching staff that doesn't give up a whole lot of hits, as Peterson will foul the 1-0 pitch on a play and the count's 1-1.
And to your point, John, Ryland Arbogast being a right-handed pitcher as opposed to older brother Reese, who is the South Dakota State pitcher, like you said, being a lefty, whether they throw with their right or their left hand, if their last name is Arbogast, they're gonna pound the zone, and you're probably in for a long night if you're the opposing team, which will be the Pierre Governors tonight.
Count is 2-1 here to Peterson. That pitch will catch the corner, and the count's now 2-2. That was painted on the black on the corner. And if you get if you would have had the pitch tracks up there, the spot of the strike zone, that might have been as corner gets. 2-2 pitch, Peterson will foul this one away, as this will get over on top of the third base dugout. The count remains at 2-2. The leadoff man here in the bottom of the first. Kaiser will bat next. Staley, the top three hitters in the order, just like they were in game number 1. Here's a 2-2 from Arbogast to Peterson. This will be fouled out of play, and the count will remain at 2-2.
It's a good fight there from Peterson there against Arbogast, working up the pitch count here early in this ball game. If he keeps fighting, and Peterson's really done a good job of hitting the ball this year, as he puts one down the left field line. It's going to hook foul and out of play. Well, not out of play, but just foul out of the reach of the left fielder. But Nolan Peterson, hitting wise, if you look at the statistics, been the best hitter for the Govs this spring. Really doesn't give you necessarily a lot of power or a lot of slug, but boy, he can put 2 or 3 singles on the board in a hurry, and that's why he's hitting leadoff.
That's what he did last game, 3 for 4 with 3 singles, also had an RBI in Tuesday's win that tied the game up at 1-1, and then started the near pickle to win the ball game as he was between first and second. But he picked up 3 hits and an RBI in game number 1. He's trying to reach base to open up the bottom of the first as he fouled another 2-2 pitch away from Arbogast. Next 2-2 pitch, this will be fouled away again, and Nolan Peterson is giving the Pierre Governor dugouts a lot to look at in the first at-bat. And for Cade Kaiser, who's on deck, he's been able to watch a lot of what Arbogast has thrown so far.
You almost think of Peterson as a Luis Arias type. I mean, really going to fight up there, good table setter guys. He eventually ends up swinging and missing at a pitch about chest high from Arbogast for out number 1. But, that still goes down in the book as a quality at bat because of the amount of pitches that he fouled off and made Arbogast throw. So good start to the ball game here for the Governor offense, despite it being a strikeout. 1 quality at bat in the books through 1 hitter so far.
Here is Cade Kaiser to the plate as he'll swing at the first pitch and sky this one out in the right field. Denboer will make the catch as he'll backpedal a couple times. And there's 2 down here in the bottom of the first, and he'll bring in the number 3 hitter in George Staley. Out and left, it is Stukel. Schlimgen is in center, and Denboer in right. Moffitt is at third. Huner is at short. Fisher at seconds. Dunham's at first. Bloom behind the plates. And Arbogast, who had a lot of work in that first at-bat through just 1 pitch to retire Kaiser, and now it's George Staley with 2 outs and nobody on. First pitch to Staley. He'll take it for strike 1. George Staley in game number 1, he went 1 for 3 in the ball game, singled in the 5th. He led off that 5th inning with the Governors were able to tie the game up, took advantage of a 2-out error before things unraveled at the top of the 6th. 0-1 pitch, over for a strike, and it's quickly 0-2 here to Staley.
And Arbogast, kind of similar to Marsh that we saw in game 1. He's not a guy that's going to necessarily strike out a bunch of hitters because through 25 innings, he's only struck out 16 guys, so less than a strikeout an inning, but already with 1 strikeout so far in this outing, and 1 strike away from picking up 2 in an inning here.
Here's the 0-2 pitch to Arbogast, from Arbogast to Staley. He'll foul that one away. It'll be a second 0-2 pitch that he's fouled away. So Arbogast is, while looking good so far into this third hitter, he's got to be feeling, boy, can I get some contact in play instead of having to keep getting guys to foul off pitches. Here's the 0-2 pitch again from Arbogast. That'll bounce in. The count goes now 1-2.
Because to your point, John, that runs up the pitch count, and that's something that plagued Jet Zabel and the Govs in the first game, and now the Govs are maybe looking to flip the script here in game number 2.
If you go back, a little less than 10 years, or maybe a little bit more than 10 years ago, you were frustrated, but not so much like you would be now, because back then there was no pitch count limit. It was just you can throw so many innings in a span of 3 days or back-to-back games or whatever it is. So who cares if you threw 200, 250 pitches, just as long as you were quality pitching all the time. 2-2 pitch. That is just outside for ball 3. And so Staley, who had to foul off 2 0-2 pitches, has now worked it to a 3-2 count. And on deck is Charlie Simpson.
Another quality at bat, regardless of the outcome. Make him throw more than 6 pitches.
3-2 pitch, curveball, swing and a miss by Staley, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. 1 gone, 1 inning down here in game number 2. No score between Pierre and O'Gorman. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisors understand this. That's why Edward Jones is a proud sponsor of Governor Athletics on KCCR. Go Govs! For all your investment needs, call or stop by one of our offices to visit with your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisor. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Hey you. Are you at a job that is fulfilling, has good benefits to support you or a family today, and retirement goes down the road? If you just said no, listen up. CHS River Plains is hiring operations personnel, drivers, and custom applicators at several locations. These come with a knockout affordable benefit package for you and the whole family. Apply to a job with CHS River Plains and up your benefits straight up. To apply, visit us online at chsriverplains.com or stop in at one of our locations. CHS is an equal opportunity employer.
Top of the second, no score on the American Family Insurance and Brittany Schuffelbein scoreboard. As the Stevens Raiders will have 7, 8, and 9. Jack Stuckel, Andrew Bloom, and Billy Leibel, the first 3 hitters.
How about the O'Gorman Knights?
What'd I say?
Stevens Raiders.
Stevens Raiders. Well, I was going to say the Stevens Raiders picked up a 7-1 win over T. So I just beat myself to it by saying Stevens instead of O'Gorman.
I know. You were thinking ahead again.
I'm thinking, which is my problem that I'm thinking.
I wouldn't say that. Just thinking too fast for your mouth.
It is Jack Stuckel to lead things
You didn't
off.
have any.
We'll just move past that
Okay.
one. Jack Stuckel will lead things off here in the second inning. First pitch ground ball into the hole. Kaiser will feel it's going to be a tough play. The throw's low, and it was not dug out cleanly by Twilliger, but even with a clean play at first base, it's still going to be an infield single for Stuckel. And the leadoff man's aboard to kick off the top of the second. Third hit of the ball game now here for O'Gorman.
Yeah, that was a tough play. Kaiser was ranging to his right and kind of came around on the ball. But, yeah, I don't know if the throw would have been clean, if he would have been able to get the hitter in Stuckel.
Andrew Bloom, he's showing bunt. Runner takes off. The throw will go to second. The tag by Peterson. He's out at second. Simpson to Peterson. And they retire the leadoff man caught stealing. And for the first out, and I think it's a strike. I think it was a strike. It was a strike, so there is 1-1 is the count. But it was a strike from Simpson to Peterson, regardless if it was a strike called or not. It does not even matter. Here is a ground ball to third baseman Hunsley, who will field the throw to first, will be in time, and there's 2 quickly down here at the top of the second. And it will bring up the number 9 hitter, Billy Leibel.
Good for Buckles here to get a quick inning if he's able to get Leibel out here. That'll be 3 quick outs, and I think coming into this inning, Buckles had only thrown 20 pitches. So if he's able to get out of this within 2 or 3 pitches here, he will have only thrown 6 pitches in the inning. So big opportunity here for Buckles to work through this top of the second really, really quickly and save him some pitch counts here, or some pitches here.
Count is 1-1 here to Leibel, who is hitting 107 on the season, just 3 hits and 28 at-bats. He'll pop this one up into shallow center field. Staley will come on to make the catch, and it is an unconventional 1-2-3 inning for the Pierre Governors in the second. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and no one left on base. We head to the bottom of the second. No score between Pierre and O'Gorman. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Happy anniversary, Wagner Auto. Wagner Auto is celebrating 117 years in the area with sales and service, and now they want to thank you for taking part. When you buy a vehicle at Wagner's, you'll receive $117 in beef bucks just in time for grilling season. See us for details. Get sale prices on Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Check out our ever-expanding inventory. Get the best deals now during the 117th anniversary celebration at Wagner Auto, South Dakota's oldest auto dealership. Wagner Auto, 330 East Sioux in Pierre. Yag Air Incorporated is your locally owned ag, chemical, and seed retailer. Yag Air Incorporated offers reliable ground and aerial application. For the latest seed and chemical pricing, contact Kyle at 605-280-8710 or Tony at 605-280-4771. Yag Air for all your ag, chemical, and seed needs. Kyle, 605-280-8710 or Tony, 605-280-4771.
It is the bottom of the second. No score between Pierre and O'Gorman, as it will be 4, 5, and 6 for the Governors. And it will be a chance for the Govs to try and get their first runs, first hits, first guys on base. Charlie Simpson, Grayson Hunsley, and Sonnenschein will be the first three hitters here for the O'Gorman, for the Pierre Governors against the O'Gorman Knights. And real quick, Blake, how many pitches did Arbogast throw in that first inning?
Arbogast threw 19 in the first inning, and J.J. Buckles comes back the following inning and throws a total of 6 pitches, unconventionally, because one was an infield. The first pitch was an infield single. They caught the runner stealing on the second play or on the second pitch. Then there was another ground out to third, and then a fly out to center in 3 pitches. So 6 total pitches in that inning. That top of the second for J.J. Buckles, really saving his pitch count.
So here is Charlie Simpson lead things off, the catcher in game number 2. First pitch, it'll be taken for strike 1 to open up the bottom of the second inning. Charlie Simpson in game number 1 in that number 4 spot went 0 for 3. Grounded to a fielder's choice and then grounded out to the second baseman and to the shortstop in a double play as well in those 3 at-bats. 0-1 pitch to Simpson. That'll be a curveball that drops out of the zone, and a really good take there from Simpson and not chase it. And the count goes to 1-1.
And really, if you compare both of their first innings, Arbogast had 19 compared to Buckles' 20, but Buckles loaded the bases in that first inning, was able to get out of it without any run scoring. And Arbogast sits the Governors down in order 1, 2, 3, and they come out of the first inning with about the same pitch count, relatively speaking.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. There's a ground ball, the right side, backhanded at second by Fisher. His throw to first will be in time. And the leadoff man retired here in the bottom of the second. And obviously we want to see the Governors get some guys on base, but if Arbogast would retire the next 2 guys in order, outside of doing that in 1 pitch in each of these 2 at-bats, or 1 or 2 pitches in each of these 2 at-bats, Buckles will throw less pitches against 9 guys than Arbogast does in 6 guys, and nobody of the 9 even reach base, or of the 6 reach base. First pitch is over for strike 1 to Grayson Hunsley. Hunsley was 1 for 3 in game number 1, but hit the ball hard enough and almost found a gap in game 1. He could have easily been 3 for 3 in the ball game, as the 0-1 pitch will miss low, and the count goes to now 1-1. Here to Grayson Hunsley. Arbogast, who works from the stretch, he without anybody on base, delivers the 1-1 pitch. That one's over for a strike, and the count's now 1-2. Shadows are creeping in and creeping across, just like we saw on Tuesday, and what we see here at Heights Stadium each and every evening game that we have. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Reaching for it and grounding it back to Arbogast. So run to first and underhand flip to first to retire Hunsley. And there's 2 down here in the second, and it brings up Sonnenschein.
Yeah, and once those shadows start creeping, really when that sun starts setting in the west, when you're playing on the left side of the field, whether it's shortstop, third base, or out in left field, it's really, really tough to see once that sun starts setting lower and lower, because that's right in your field of vision. So if you're the Govs or the Knights on the flip side, and you're looking to put the ball in play and get on base, best place to do it at this time of night is to the left side.
Here's a ground ball to the left side. Huners will field. The throw to first will be in time to retire Sunshine. And it's a second 1-2-3 inning for Arbogast through 2 innings. No score between Pierre and O'Gorman. We head to the third. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Sometimes you get a piece of it and the ball sails over the fence. Other times, despite your best efforts, you strike out. I'm not just talking about the game, I mean your day. This is Pastor Sam of Faith Lutheran Church. Whether today feels like a home run or a strikeout, I encourage you to join us for worship. We celebrate when God gives us a wonderful day. We provide support and encouragement when that third strike comes. Come join us for encouraging and uplifting worship at Faith Lutheran Church.
Look, it's no secret that owning a vehicle can cause a lot of stress and to get a lot of wear and tear on them through the extreme seasons we've grown to love. Graham Tire wants you to know that you can trust them with any problem that you have with your vehicle. Their ASE certified mechanics can make your AC cool again or even just change your oil. They can look into and fix those noises that seem to come from nowhere and have you stressed out. Bring your car to Graham Tire so they can put your mind at ease. Graham Tire, your tire store next door.
It is the top of the third. Pure Governors are tied, no score, with the O'Gorman Knights on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebein scoreboard. Top of the third, top of the order, Trenton Fisher, Charlie Huners, and Sullivan Schlemgen. Anybody reaches base, it'll be Hunter Denbor. And this is a big spot here for both O'Gorman and for the Governors in a scoreless game here in the third. And Blake with the top of the order up. This is where you want to make sure you get through it if you're Buckles. And also, if you're O'Gorman, this is a spot to get your first lead of the ball game.
Yeah, if you're J.J. Buckles right now, you want to get through this not only, without any runs coming across, but as efficiently as possible as Fisher pops the ball, fouling out of play behind the screen, back behind O plate, and the count is now 1-1. But if you're the O'Gorman Knights on the flip side, like you said, big goal here for them is put the ball in play. Hopefully it finds some green grass and get your team on the board. And this would be an opportunity to put some crooked numbers on the board too.
Count is 2-1 here to Fisher, who led off the ball game with a single and then was stranded at third base. Part of the bases loaded that was stranded by O'Gorman as the 2-1 pitch is a swing and a miss, and the count goes to now 2-2. Buckles looking for his second strikeout of the ball game. 2-2 pitch. Line shot off the end of the bat, so off the handle of the bat, and it's a base hit for Trenton Fisher. That didn't sound like it felt good coming off the bat, but it is a leadoff single again for Trenton Fisher. And a runner on first with nobody out here at the top of the third, and it'll bring up Charlie Huners.
Yeah, and the leadoff guy gets on again for O'Gorman. I think that's the third inning in a row now that Buckles has had to pitch to the Knights with the leadoff runner reaching base. But both times so far that it's happened, it hasn't hurt him, and let's hope that trend continues.
And the guy was thrown out second, Stukel in the second, and again the Fisher who led off that inning got into third. There's a line shot right to Stalley in center field, and he'll make the catch for the first out. And there's one down here in the top of the third, and it brings up Sullivan Schlemgen.
George Stalley couldn't have played that any better, I don't think. He was positioned out in center field and then arranged over to his right on a line drive shot off the bat of Huners.
Runner takes off, throw to second, is not going to be in time, and a stolen base for Fisher. First pitch was missed for ball one to Schlemgen.
But to finish that thought, I don't think that Stalley could have played that any better for the first out of the inning. But now Fisher is in scoring position for Sully Schlemgen, and then behind him, Denbor as well.
Here's a 1-0. That'll miss low, and the count goes to now 2-0 here to Schlemgen, who is 1 for 1. He singled in that first inning. Part of the now 4 hits for the O'Gorman Knights. 2-0. This will be fouled out of play, and the count goes to now 2-1. Denboer, who drew a walk in his first trip to the plate, he is waiting on deck, and O'Gorman's got the spot with their best 2 RBI machines with a runner on second and 1 out. 2 guys to try and drive in 1 run and give them their first lead. That one's fouled back, and the count's now 2-2, and Buckles, again, will be looking for a second strikeout, but a big opportunity to try and get that strikeout here against one of the best hitters in Schlimgen.
Now comes the mental game is what do you throw here if you're J.J. Buckles on a 2-2 count?
The 2-2, curveball that will miss low and outside. The count goes now 3-2.
I was going to say, because if you can spot the curveball, that's probably the pitch that you throw. But, you know, now you got to play some mind games with Schlimgen here with a full count.
3-2 pitch from Buckles. Fastball that was high and upstairs, and ducking was Schlimgen to get out of the way. And it's first and second now with 1 out and a walk issue to Schlimgen. Might not be the mind games that you're talking about.
Yeah, that wasn't necessarily the idea, was to throw the ball at his head necessarily.
Maybe it's a long-term game there to try and make him a little nervous next time he comes to the plate.
Sure. Why not?
I mean, I guess that's the way to look at it now is next time maybe Schlimgen will be a little bit more nervous to come to the plate.
Hey, if it worked for Ricky Wild Thing Vaughn, it can work for J.J. Buckles here.
The Hunter Denboer, the right fielder, to the plates. Here's the first 2 with the runners at first and second. First pitch will be popped up on the right side. Twilliger in foul territory. He will make the catch, and there's now 2 down. And it brings up Zach Dunham, and that's a huge second out.
Yeah.
That's the second time that between from Huner, Schlimgen, and Denboer, and there's 6 times to the plate. The second time that they've popped down in foul territory to Twilliger, and that's a huge sigh of relief. And Zach Dunham now the chance here for the O'Gorman Knights to try and give them the lead. First pitch, swinging a foul that the runner took off for third, but it was a foul ball just off the end of the bat from Dunham, and the count's 0-1.
Yeah, but I don't think you can completely exhale right now as Dunham steps up to the plate. Really, to start the year, he was their cleanup guy behind Schlimgen, and Denboer was actually hitting 5th, but they flip-flopped in the order with Denboer being the hitter that he has become this spring. As that curveball from Buckles catches the outside corner, and Dunham, I don't think necessarily agreed with that because he kind of left the box in disagreement, it appeared. But regardless, 0-2 count here to him with 2 outs.
0-2 pitch, a ground ball to the right side, fielded by Peterson. He'll bobble, but his throw to first will be in time, and Buckles escapes danger again. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 men left on base. We head to the bottom of the third. No score between Pierre and O'Gorman. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Why am I so sore? There are everyday moments.
What? Hey, hold the ladder! Hold the ladder!
Yeah, that hurt. And there are epic moments.
Slide, 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 solid! Slide, class of 1995!
When a moment creates a health need, visit the experts at Avera Orthopedics. We're moving health forward so you can tell the story. Learn more at avera.org/orthopedics.
Form, function, finesse. The all-new 2024 all-wheel drive Ford Escape is now on sale at Capital City Ford for $32,000 with up to $2,250 in rebates. If you're looking for adaptable interiors ready for your daily adventures, whether it's a trip to the grocery store, to a spontaneous road trip, and everywhere in between, Capital City Ford has you covered. Payments are as low as $385 with Ford Credit Flex Buy program. For more information and details, contact a sales professional at Capital City Ford. Check out their full vehicle lineup at CapitalCityFord.com. Capital City Ford in Pierre.
Bottom of the third, no score between Pierre and O'Gorman. On American Family Insurance, Brittany Schuffelbein scoreboard. 7-8-9 here for the Governors. Weston Northrup, Cooper Twilliger, and Matthew Burr. Anybody reaches base, Nolan Pearson, top of the order for the Governors, are due up. Coming up tomorrow, we've got baseball for you, MLB baseball for you, and then we'll also have the NHL, as it will be the Diamondbacks and the Orioles with coverage at 2:30. And first pitch at 3 o'clock, and then it'll be the NBA, not the NHL, but the NBA between Boston and Cleveland in Game 3 of that series. Then on Sunday, we've got Yankton coming to town, Pierre in Yankton with coverage at 12:45, first pitch at 1 o'clock, and then we'll have the NHL after that with Game 4 between Boston and Florida in the Western Conference semifinals. Western Northrop will lead things off. He is the first plate appearance, first at bat of the season for Western Northrop. First pitch to him, he'll swing and miss for strike one. Did the Timberwolves get the job done this weekend and go to the Western Conference Finals?
Don't put that pressure on me, man.
Do you? I mean, obviously, you have to like what you've seen through the first 6 games.
Oh my goodness, I as a Timberwolves fan my entire life, I watched some atrocious basketball from the likes of Marko Jaric. Oh gosh, really, there's too many to name. As Northrop singles in his first at bat of the year, line shot to left field in front of the left fielder in Stukel. But Marko Jaric is a name that comes to mind. Luke Ridnour was a starting point guard for Minnesota for years. So many bad players, draft mistakes. I mean, based on winning percentages, that's a line shot down the left field line.
Northrop will make his way to third. Terwilliger will stand at second. It's back-to-back hits. A stand-up double for the freshman Terwilliger and the junior Northrop, and it's second and third with nobody out here in the bottom of the third inning. The Governors are cooking here with the number 7 and 8 hitters getting base hits, and the number 9 man Matthew Burr to try and give them the lead.
It'd be big if the bottom of the Governor lineup can produce some runs here. Maybe we should just continue to talk about the Timberwolves.
First pitch is found out of play to the right side by Burr, and the count's 0-1.
Seems to be good luck, but
well.
Anyway, historically speaking, based on their win percentage, the worst professional sports franchise in all of the 4 major professional men's sports, and the fact that they are 2 wins away from an appearance in the Western Conference Finals, the second time in franchise history and the second time in my lifetime that a Minnesota team has made it that far, is pretty remarkable. I am over the moon excited about where they could go, really, in the grand scheme of things.
Count is 0-2 here to Matthew Brewer. With runners at second and third and nobody out here in the bottom of the third. 0-2 pitch to Brewer. Ground ball, left side to Williger. Started to make his way to third. The throw will come home. They're going to double off the runs. And as there's a runner on third now with 2 outs, Western Northrop felt like he had to go home. Twilliger took off for third on the ground ball and forced the double play in a 5-3-2 double play to get Northrop out at home, and there's 2 down. And it'll bring up Nolan Peterson to try and drive in the game's first run here for the Governors.
Yeah, just worst possible scenario there for the Govs. I mean, I guess really the worst case scenario would be that all 3 guys get out on that play, but in reality, probably the worst case scenario there is you ground ball to the left side as Peterson fouls that one off, make it an 0-2 count. And Terwilliger kind of forced Northrop off of third. Like you said, he felt like he had to go home. And Knights get 2 on 1 pitch, and now they are really 1 strike away from getting out of this inning unscathed.
Runner on third with 2 outs. 0-2 pitch from Arbogast to Peterson. That is down the left field line. It is going to hook foul. Where we talked in the first game where the Governors had some luck to fall their way with Zabel picking up a base hit on a bloop single, a Texas leaguer, and now that the Governors don't get that break with, I mean, that ball was fair for 98% of that in flight and looked like it was going to land fair, and then it hooked foul and was fouled by less than 5 feet.
Yeah. Just unfortunate there, but Peterson's resilient. I feel like he'll step in and put together another quality at bat.
0-2 pitch is upstairs, and the count's now 1-2. Kate Kaiser is on deck, but the Governors at second and third with nobody out. They got to find a way to score some runs. Twilliger stands at third. Base hit or a wild pitch could bring him in. 1-2 pitch. Peterson was able to stay back on the off speed and foul it back to the netting, and the count remains at 1-2.
I would be surprised if, at least until he gets to a 3-ball count, if Arbogast throws a fastball here, he's probably going to try to lull Peterson to sleep with the off-speed stuff and then try to blow the fastball by him.
That was a fastball that he'll foul into the first base dugout, and Peterson, who was late behind it, just got his bat around enough to foul it away and to stay alive at 1-2.
Probably because he was looking curveball. But I was thinking the same thing that he was, I think.
Here's the 1-2 pitch but for Arbogast to Peterson. Another fastball, and he'll swing and miss for strike 3, and that will retire the side. Here in the bottom of the third, no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We have played 3, no score between Pierre and O'Gorman. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
At Shane's Pharmacy, your health care is important, and Shane wants to be the pharmacist to take care of you. Shane's Pharmacy will make sure your prescriptions are filled in a timely manner, they will answer your questions, and they will even deliver to your home or office. Call 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy, the pharmacy you know and trust. The number again is 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy in Fort Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
Most of us already know that Gales Gas of Pierre is the place to call for propane. They offer an automatic fill plan so you never have to worry about running out of propane. They accept debit and credit payments or a budget payment plan to spread out the cost throughout the year so you never have surprises when you get your bill. For delivery, convenience, and great customer service, call Gales Gas at 224-5518. That's Gales Gas at 224-5518.
Top of the fourth, no score between Pierre and O'Gorman on the American Family Insurance Brittany Schuffelbein scoreboard. 6, 7, and 8, Brian Brogan Moffitt, Jack Stuckel, and Andrew Bloom, the first 3 hitters. Billy Leibel would be to the plate if any of the 3 reach base to kick off the 4th inning. No score between these 2 teams. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for O'Gorman. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Governors through the first 3 innings. As the Govs got their first 2 guys on base, but still only stranded that 1 runner. As the first pitch here from Buckles to Moffitt is over for strike 1 to kick off the top of the 4th. You're listening to KCCR Pierre, a Riverfront Broadcasting Station. Just past 8 o'clock, John Winkler alongside Blake Dean. Jen Brazilius back at the station on a beautiful Friday night from Hyatt Stadium as the count goes to 1-1. Game 1 went in favor of O'Gorman, 15-4. They scored 11 runs in the 6th inning in a 4-4 game. That with that ball games, if you look at just the final score, you think the Governors never stood a chance, but it was a tie ball game. They led in that first game, but a bad in a 6th inning that got away from him and snowballed and turned into an 11-run loss. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Moffitt. That one just missing outside. Really good pitch there from Buckles, and Moffitt somehow did not offer at it. And that was as good of a pitch as you could get without putting in the strike zone on a 2-strike pitch.
Yeah.
2-2 here from Buckles. Swing and miss, and there's a strikeout. Second strikeout of the ball game for JJ, and there's one down here at the top of the 4th.
And one thing I wanted to mention, too, was before the start of this inning, Buckles had faced 14 batters and had thrown 43 pitches. Arbogast had faced 1 batter over the minimum, so 10 batters total, and had thrown 44 pitches. So, you know, even though Arbogast has thrown more pitches per batter to each batter than Buckles has, both guys are really pitching pretty efficiently here tonight.
First pitch is over for strike 1 to the number 6 hitter and to make that 7 hitter in Jack Stuckel. A 1 pitch, swing and a miss, and the count's now 0-2. Buckles trying to look for back-to-back strikeouts after having just 1 through the first 3 innings. First time that the leadoff man has been retired in the ballgame. 0-2 pitches upstairs, and the count's now 1-2. Leadoff single in the first and third, and a leadoff walk in the second. Actually, a leadoff single in the first, second, and third innings. But a leadoff strikeout. That 1-2 pitch, that one just stays upstairs. Simpson caught it right over the middle of the plate, but crossed over above the letters. And the count goes now 2-2. The 2-2 from Buckles. That one is off the end of the bat and fouled away. And the count remains at 2-2 strikes. I was going to go back to the Minnesota Timberwolves thing here real quick, but the Timberwolves and Nuggets are playing in the Western Conference semifinal. The 2-2 pitch will be outside. The count's now 3-2. They played way back, Kevin Garnett versus Carmelo Anthony back in like 2005, I think it was, 2004, 2005. And all I can think about is how good those logos were for both the Timberwolves and the Nuggets and the color scheme that both teams had. The Timberwolves really haven't gone too far away from that, but the Nuggets really have changed their colors and their logos, as that one will be missing for ball 4, and it'll be a one-out walk to Stuckel.
Yeah.
And it will bring up Andrew Bloom.
I think to that point, the Nuggets really, at that point, 20 years ago, were really more sky blue. They had the mountain logo.
Yeah.
Really.
That was such a great matchup, just color-wise. It was pleasing to the eye.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is not as much as it could have been.
I agree. For now until really eternity, I think my favorite Timberwolves jerseys will be the black with the tree, the timber tree trim around the piping. It's still my favorite look from the Timberwolves, and I don't think any jersey that they ever wear from now until eternity will change that.
First pitch is a swing and miss by Andrew Bloom. 0-1 pitch. Be outside. The count's now 1-1.
Those Prince jerseys were pretty sweet, though.
I can't argue with that. That was a sweet jersey.
The black ones?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I would 100% agree. I just think about that series way back then, or just think about the Nuggets logo and their color scheme of the sky blue and the yellow, and the Timberwolves, who again haven't really gone away from the same type of colors, but just I love their old logo with those timber trees and stuff. It just would have been so pleasing to the eye if that would have been the same way. This will be fouled back as the runner took off, and the count goes to 2-2. So Stuckel will head back to first.
Or when the Nuggets, I think my favorite Nuggets logo apart from the sky blue mountain logos that they used to have, were the rainbow jerseys from back in the 70s and 80s. Those were pretty cool also.
I don't know if it's just because we're getting old or if it truly was, but I think all the old logos are better than the new logos. And I think just almost every single sport, old logos are better than the new logos. Counts 3-2 here to Andrew Bloom.
Well, and I think a lot of that too is the way that graphics and jerseys have been designed anymore. The approach seems to be a little bit more minimalist than it used to be, so you don't get as much flavor, I guess.
3-2 pitch. That was right down the line. That was a fair ball just over the bag at third, as this will be a throw coming to third, and it will be a double for Andrew Bloom. And that was just over the bag at third base. And of course, it had to be right where that bag was at for it to go. From up here, it looked like that might have gone to the left of the bag before it got to the bag. Obviously, it did land in foul territory after it got past the bag, but after it hits the ground, it just has to make it past the third base bag, over the top of the bag.
Right.
And so that's where it was a very close. And again, the breaks are not going the way for the Governors since the early part of game one, and that's just another one that adds to the breaks of not going the way of the Governors. If it's another 2-3 feet to the right, Grayson Hunsley is probably making the play, or at least stopping the ball. Another foot to the left, probably another 6 inches to the left. It's a foul ball, and it's still runner on first with one out. But instead, the infield is drawn in all the way around, as the 0-1 pitch will miss low and away to Leibel, and it's now 1-1. And they are trying to keep this a 0-0 tie. Ground ball in the infield. They're going to either go home or keep that runner at third. The 1-1 pitch from Buckles. Swing and a miss, and the count's now 1-2. And this is a big spot here because while there is a base open, Trenton Fisher, the top of the order, is on deck. And this is a big out to get. The 1-2 pitch here from Buckles. Curveball that is able to be laid off of by Liable. The count goes now 2-2.
Yeah, Buckles really got to buckle down here and throw a strike because top of the lineup turns over and you don't want to put the number 9 man on with a free pass.
2-2 pitch is fouled back to the netting. We'll do it again here at 2-2. Buckles, who started the inning with a strikeout, a walk to Stukel, and then a double by Bloom. But second and third with one out here in the top of the fourth. Big spot in the ball game right now. Number 9 man the plate. 2-2 pitch. Curveball that doesn't break, and it stays upstairs, and the count's now 3-2. And again, it's not the worst thing to have the walk because the force out is there at any base, and you can draw a double play, but it is the top of the order that is due up next for O'Gorman. 3-2 pitch. It will be ball 4. The bases are now loaded here with one out. Second walk in the inning, and it brings up the top of the order in Trenton Fisher.
Which I guess in theory is not the worst thing in the world because you set up a force at every base in the middle of the infield does get to go back to double play depth, but you still don't want to put the number 9 man on first base for free and turn the lineup over with only one out.
Fisher is 2 for 2 with 2 singles as he'll wait on the first pitch. Is upstairs for ball 1. Danger territory here for the Governors. Bases loaded, one out, middle is back, the corners are in. Try and turn it up the middle, go home with it at the corners. 1-0 pitch, a curveball that doesn't break, and it stays upstairs, and the count's now 2-0. And if you're Trenton Fisher, you've seen those last 2 curveballs not go so well for Buckles. You're probably sitting on a fastball knowing that he's going to go in the zone. 2-0 pitch. There's a high fly ball to left field. Sunshine going over to it. He'll make the catch. Everybody will tag at second and third. Throw will come in. It'll be an RBI sac fly. And a 1-0 lead for O'Gorman here with 2 outs in the top of the 4th inning. And it's first and third.
Yeah, Fisher just does what he's supposed to do there. Put the bat on the ball, put the ball in play, and elevated it also and got it up to left field. Sunshine does make the catch, but both the runners at second and third advance, and the Knights are up 1-0 here in the top of the 4th.
Tie will be called. Simpson will go out and talk with the Buckles at the mound. So the first run of the ball game is a sac fly by the leadoff man, Trenton Fisher. Charlie Huners, who's 0 for 2, is at the plate. Trying to extend this lead out to a 2-0 advantage. As a 1-out walk followed by a double and another walk load the bases, and the sac fly by Fisher. Huners will wait on the first pitch. He'll sky this one foul. That will be well out of play. And the count goes to 0-1.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. I was just going to say Huners really got around on that and fouled it off.
Huners 0 for 2. Popped out of the first baseman, Twilliger, in foul territory over at the first base dugout. Flew out of the center fielder, Stalley, or lined out of the center fielder, Stalley. In his second at-bat, here's the 0-1 pitch. That is upstairs, and the count's now 1-1.
Now, Buckles just really doesn't have the feel for the curveball right now, and I think the Knights batters really understand that, and they're going to be sitting fastball the rest of the game.
There's a curveball or off speed that drops in for a strike. The count's now 1-2, and I think Huners was thinking the same thing as you are because he dropped his shoulders, was not expecting a curveball to fall into the strike zone at all. 1-2 pitch. Buckles trying to throw a fastball by him, and it was blocked up by Simpson, and the count goes now 2-2. So still a chance to limit the damage here with 2 on and 2 out, and a 2-2 pitch upcoming here at the top of the 4th. Gorman has struck for 1 run so far. 2-2 pitch. Curveball, line shot, base hit. That's a 2-0 ball game. Rounding second, on his way to third, starting to get his way to third. But staying at second will be Leibel, and it's a 2-out RBI single for for Charlie Huters, and it's first and second with 2 outs. And now Sully Schlimgin. This is the danger, too, of what this O'Gorman lineup has. The fact that just because you give them a 2-out single, one run scores, it's becoming harder and harder to get out of this inning with at least the next 2 guys at the plates.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to put a couple guys on base for either Schlimgin or Denboer. I mean, you're absolutely right in the fact that you say it's danger territory time for not only for Buckles but also for the Governor defense right now.
Counts 1-1 here to Schlimgin. 1-1 pitch. Didn't get all of it, but got a base hit into left field. Sunshine will come up with it. He's going to try and fire the plate. It's going to be wide of the plate, and it'll be a RBI single for Schlimgin, and it's a 3-0 ball game now for O'Gorman. And on the throw went Schlimgin to second, so an RBI single. And so it's now second and third here with 2 outs. And it'll bring up Hunter Denboer. Got a chance to extend this inning even farther.
Yep, an opportunity here for Denboer to extend the inning even further, and it looks like we're going to get a mound visit here from the Governor coaching staff, looking to calm down Buckles here and, give him an opportunity to rest. Doesn't look like there's anybody up in the Governor bullpen right now, but just give him an opportunity to reset, especially against a batter of Denboer's caliber.
Yeah, with Brewer, the DH, if anybody would come in from the field, be interesting to see where maybe they go with if Zabel would come into the ball game potentially and play the field if they bring their pitcher in from somewhere on the field. But Buckles, it is a quick mound visit. First, second, and third. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. And it'll bring Hunter Denboer, who is 0 for 1. He walked, and then he popped out of the first baseman, Twilliger. Base hit could make this a 5-0 ball game. Governors were close to getting out of this with only allowing 1 run. Instead, it's a 3-0 ball game, and now they're in danger of going down by a handful. First pitch, curveball that drops in for strike 1. And probably 1-2 with the mound visit just to slow things down, settle down Buckles, who, yeah, the inning hasn't gone well for him, and a couple of walks and those runs given up, but chance to still get out of this inning and limit the damage to what it could be. Get the Governor bats going in the 4th inning, and you're still in the ball game. Counts quickly 0-2 to the number 4 hitter in Denboer. Hit a 2-run homer in game number 1. 0-2 pitch. That is outside. The count is now 1-2.
The other thing to keep in mind, too, is, typically the Govs have primarily used Buckles as a relief pitcher. Obviously, now with the injury to Ridge Leinbach, they're going to have to put him, more in these starting positions, because really, in reality, this is his first start of the season. He's pitched in 6 games, but all of them have come out of the bullpen, and so this is probably the most pitches that he's thrown in a game this season by quite a bit, as that ball is popped up by Denboer, and it's going to be out of reach for everybody and just be another strike here. But so far, this will be the 84th pitch for J.J. Buckles tonight. And not that he's not capable of throwing that many pitches, because he certainly is, but you got to think this is probably the most number of pitches that he's thrown in a given outing in his career, really.
Count stays at 2-2. That was a check swing from Denboer that was popped up, and the way the swing happened, Simpson, who took the mask off, didn't know where it was at right away, and probably the guy the closest to it. There's a ground ball over to Hunsley over at third. He'll field a double clutch, and the throw's not going to be in time, and it'll be an infield single for Denboer to make it now a 4-0 ball game. Another run will score on the infield single. And it will bring up now the number 5 hitter, and Zach Dunham, the 9th man, to come to the plate here in the inning.
Yeah, ball was just hit slowly enough to Hunsley, and Denboer is a really good athlete too. He's able to leg out the infield single, extend the inning.
First pitch, runner takes off. This will be popped up left side. Hunsley giving chase. Does he have enough room? And it will land foul to play. And the count goes to 0-1. Here to Dunham, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out.
But there's a reason why Denboer is going to go play at Dakota State next year. You know, why Fisher's going to go play at Dakota Wesleyan next year as well. And then why Sully Schlimgen has an opportunity to play college baseball if he decides to pursue that opportunity. You know, this top 4 or 5 for the O'Gorman Knights it's really, really, really tough to get these 5 guys out.
There's a line shot that is going to be foul, and it's 0-2. And see if Buckles can get out of this inning and get the Governors back to the plate down and keep it a 4-0 deficit now. And with Denboer taking off on each of the first 2 pitches, any type of base hit anything in the gap could really get going. And there's a line shot that will get into the gap out in left field. That's going to drive in 2 runs. Sunshine will have to go out of the wall to go get it. Rounding first to second will be Dunham. And it's a 6-0 ball game here in the top of the 4th. And it will extend the inning to Brogan Moffitt, who led off the inning striking out.
Dunham, I think, has had 4 doubles, and 4 times tonight we've had to watch the double celebration that he puts out on second base that I still don't really understand because I'm not cool. But
he does not have any other hits besides the 4 doubles. He went 3 for 5 in game 1. He's 1 for 3 here in game number 2. There's a ground ball that's through the hole on the left side. That'll be a base hit. Dunham will round third. He will come in to score without a play. And it's a 7-run inning here for the O'Gorman Knights. An RBI for Brogan Moffitt. And it brings up Jack Stuckel, and that will end the day for J.J. Buckles, who couldn't get through the 4th inning. Spencer Easlin will come into the ball game. Looks like maybe George Stallion will come into pitch, but we will tell you the changes here in just a moment. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
People helping people. Have you ever wondered what the benefits are of becoming a Owyhee Federal Credit Union member? At Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we reinvest profits in you. We do this in the form of lower interest rates, higher dividends, and low to no fees. So come check us out or come in at 221 East Pleasant Drive in Pierre, because at Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we treat our members like they own the place because, well, they do. Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
The lawyers at the May Adam Law Firm in Pierre know how important your families are to you. If you've been putting off getting your affairs in order, know that the May Adam Law Firm is available to counsel you through your questions and help you get the documents in place so that you've made your loved ones secure. Call them at 224-8803 and they can chat with you about how to document your concerns and care for your family. We're all in this together, and the May Adam Law Firm is ready and able to help.
Top of the 4th, still here with the runners at second make that runner on first with 2 outs, and it will be Weston Northrup that will come in from right field to go pitch, as he will try and just finish out this 4th inning and try and get the Governors back into the dugout and try and get them going in the 4th inning. But it is a 7-0 lead for O'Gorman, and obviously J.J. Buckles, who had 3 shutout innings, worked around danger in the 1st and 3rd innings specifically, just couldn't work his way around a 4th inning of danger, and the damage is 7 runs right now against him, and still an 8th run that is only on at first, but still can't close the book on Buckles until after the inning, or after the run scores and the inning ends.
Yeah, you're right there, and like I said, just a tough outing for JJ there. But like I said, I don't think he's ever thrown this many pitches in his Governor career. 89 total tonight. But to that point, you know, the Governors have primarily used him as a relief pitcher, and so, you know, probably got a little bit tired, lost a little bit of control on the curveball. towards the end there, and found it towards the end also, but that allowed the Knights hitters to sit essentially fastball, or if he was going to throw a curveball, it was going to be a hittable pitch, and they definitely made the most out of their opportunities and have put a very large crooked number on the board as a result.
It is a 2-0 count here from Weston Northrup to Jack Stuckel, as Northrup is getting his third appearance, second relief appearance, as it counts 3-0. He has given up 9 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned in 5 innings of work so far. 2 walks, a strikeout, an ERA at 9.8, and a whip at 2.2. 3-0 pitch. That'll miss for ball 4, and it will be a 4-pitch walk issued to Stuckel. And it'll bring Andrew Bloom to the plates, as that's the second time that Stuckel has walked here in the inning. Can't close the book on J.J. Buckles yet, as he allowed just 2 walks, hit 2 strikeouts, but 9 hits and 7 runs, and a potential 8th run that's now in scoring position, as Andrew Bloom, who doubled, make that 3 walks. He had 2 in the inning. Weston Northrup, I don't think that he will be with the team on Sunday, as he will get ready for the state tennis tournaments on Monday and Tuesday out in Rapid City. They won't play till Monday or Tuesday, but the team will probably get out there at some point early on Sunday. And I think that Northrup in Flight 4 singles and doubles Flight 2 with Devin Dodson will go with the team on Monday and Tuesday, or on Sunday for Monday and Tuesday. As a 0-1 pitch is over for a strike, and the count's 0-2 here to Andrew Bloom.
Which I think is why you're seeing him on the mound right now, just to get him some work, probably knowing that he won't be there on Sunday, and just to kind of get him going for the playoffs here.
0-2 pitch, and swinging a foul tip into the midst, and Simpson will make the catch and retire the side here in the 4th inning. But 7-run score in the inning on 6 hits. There are no errors and 2 men left on base. We have the bottom of the 4th. It is a 7-0 lead for O'Gorman over Pierre. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Insurance. We all need it to protect our homes, health, businesses, and belongings. But having adequate coverage is just the beginning. You also need the support of professionals who stand by your side to protect what's important to you. Fisher Rounds & Associates combines the coverage you want with the commitment you need. Fisher Rounds & Associates. At your service, at your side. With offices in Pierre, Mitchell, Watertown, Sioux Falls, and Rapid City.
Ferding Electric has a long history of doing electrical work the right way. Economical service, professional work, and customer satisfaction is why they can say that. Ferding Electric can do residential, farm, and commercial projects. Doesn't matter if they are charged with new construction or a remodel project, they get it conducted. Contact the staff at Ferding Electric at 224-8684. They can light a spark into your next project. Ferding Electric, 224-8684. Bottom of the 4th inning, it is a 7-0 lead for the O'Gorman Knights over the Pierre Governors. It'll be 2-3-4 for Pierre, as Rylan Arbogast now has a 7-0 lead in his favor, and a long time on the bench in the dugout waiting to get back, and didn't really look to see if he was throwing at all, but we'll see if the Governors maybe can take advantage of this, maybe jump on him early, and maybe he'll be a little bit more stiff going into this 4th inning. And you got to get something going, down 7-0, and this has been now the second game where the Governors have been in through at least 3, 4, or 5 innings. Obviously, this one just being the bottom of the 4th, but things have slipped away in a 3-out span.
Yeah, I really have, and let's see. You don't necessarily have to get all of them back right away, but hanging at least 2 or 3 on the board if you're the Govs in this half inning, the bottom of the 4th, would be a win, a small victory, and then you can just continue to build on that as the game progresses. But don't try to get them all back right away. Take it one at bat at a time, one pitch at a time, and stack things up as they go the rest of the game here.
First 0-1 pitch will miss. It's 1-1 here to Cade Kaiser, who's 0 for 1 flew out to the right fielder in his first at bat. First 1-1 pitch is upstairs, and the count's now 2-0, 2-1. Oof. This is a struggle of last 30 seconds there for me. Count is 2-1 here to Kate Kaiser. Arbogast, again, working from the stretch with nobody on base. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, and the count's now 2-2. We are, again, one of 3 games going on the rest of the night for high school baseball. It is a 3-2 lead for Jefferson over Huron right now in Game 2 after they took the first one in a 6-0 win. That's in the top of the 4th in Huron. And then Stevens and T is tied 0-0 at the top of the 2nd of that ball game. So it is both those games going on. Our game 7-0 here in the bottom of the 4th. 2-2 pitch is grounded sharply foul down the third base line. We'll do it again here at 2-2. J.J. Buchholz officially 3 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 7 runs, all of them earned, 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. And I mean, he was one with that sacrifice fly to give them that first lead. He was 1 pitch away from getting through 4 innings, allowing just 1 run. That's how close the Governors were, but also the rally that the O'Gorman Knights had with 2 outs in that top of the 4th inning, scored another 6 runs to make it a 7-0 advantage. Counts 3-2 now here to Kate Kaiser. Leadoff man in the bottom of the 4th inning. Payoff pitch from Arbogast. Swing and a miss for strike 3. And that is strikeout number 4 for Arbogast. And there's one down here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And it brings up George Stalley, who's 0 for 1. He is one of those 4 strikeout victims. Yankton plays tomorrow, and then they come to Pierre. They play at home against T in a doubleheader starting at 11 o'clock. A lot of games to be played tomorrow with Stevens, Huron, Washington all kind of playing each other. They are playing each other in a triangular. As Stalley will get a hold of this one and fly out to left field. Going back to left fielder. Still going back as he falls and makes the catch in Stuckel. He was almost vertically to the ground, horizontal to the ground, making that catch as he was stumbling his way back, and there's 2 down here in the inning.
Yeah, what a catch there by Stuckel out and left. I thought that ball burned him pretty bad, and not only does he race underneath it, but you're right, kind of goes horizontal. Doesn't necessarily have to lay out behind him, but is able to make the catch falling down, and that is a huge out, because if that ball touches the ground, George Stalley, we know what he's capable of on the base paths, and he would have been probably easily on third, maybe with the potential for it to be an inside the park home run if that ball is on the ground at all.
Simpson, who fouled off the first pitch, will swing and miss, and it's now 0-2. Wind has also died down here at Hyde Stadium. The way that came off the bat, if we had the wind that we had, well, might have had a chance to get out of here, or at least get well over the head of the left fielder, Stuckel. 0-2 pitch. That one's ripped on a line right to the left fielder. Much easier play for Stuckel that time, as he barely had to take a step at all to make the catch. And it's a 1-2-3 inning in the 4th for Arbogast. Head of the 5th, 7-0 lead for O'Gorman. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Hey, yo, Speedo's Lawn Care.
Hello. Say, my yard's in rough shape. It's got weeds, brown spots, and crabgrass.
Yeah, no problemo. What shade of green you need? We got 31 shades of green over here. Even the latest shade of septic tank grass green. That one just naturally gives off a glow.
Call the professionals at True Green. They know how to get your lawn healthy and keep it healthy. They guarantee it. All technicians are trained and certified.
Call True Green, 224-1916.
Springtime has arrived. Service and Parts Department at Buck Motor Company want to remind you to get your vehicle serviced early to avoid any breakdowns and service-related frustrations. Up to $100 mail-in rebate on a set of 4 tires, along with 4 free oil changes, a $400 value. All AC Delco Marine batteries starting at $134.95 and come with an 18-month warranty. Take $15 off a light detail. Spray in bed liners, $635 on long beds and $595 on short beds. See all our specials at www.beck-motors.com. It is the top of the 5th inning. 7-0 is our score. The American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebein scoreboard. John Winkler alongside Blake Dean here in the top of the fifth, Heinz Stadium. As the beautiful night continues, but it's not been so beautiful for the Governors after a 15-4 loss in game one, now down 7-0 here in game number two. But still have 6 outs to work with as long as they keep limit the lead for O'Gorman under 10 runs. But it's just been the way for the Governors over the last, now basically last 2 weekends, that they've just been struggling to score runs. Wouldn't even say that they've really struggled to keep, obviously with a 15-run game allowed by O'Gorman, or allowed to O'Gorman the first game, now a 7-0 game. You can say, well, they've allowed a lot of runs on the mound, but they've been getting beat with the bats and not beating themselves with errors or walks. There's been a lot of base hits, a lot of hits by Stevens and now O'Gorman and Harrisburg in those last 3 doubleheaders. 0-1 pitch here to Leibel. It's 1-1.
Yeah, and really, if you look at tonight, it's been 2 big innings from O'Gorman. It was the 6th in the first game, and it was the top of the 4th in this game here. That things kind of really have slipped out of the grasp of the Govs, and not to say that this game isn't over quite yet, because like I said, if the Govs can score 2 runs apiece over the next 3 innings, I mean, they're right back in this ball game. So I think the biggest thing there is, if the Govs going from today take one thing out of the doubleheader tonight is try to limit the big inning going forward. Just put the past behind you, look at what you can do in front of you, get that last out. And that's probably if they can take anything away from tonight, that would probably be the one thing that they should take away.
Counts 3-2 here to Billy Leibel. Leadoff man here in the top of the 5th inning, and you're right, 18 of the 22 runs that O'Gorman has scored have come in just 2 innings. As there's a swing and a miss, a strikeout for Northrop. And there's one down here in the top of the 5th inning, and it will bring up the leadoff man in the batting order, second baseman Trenton Fisher. And that'll be Charlie Huners. This is, inning number 10 overall, and if you take away 2 innings, it's 4-4 in scoring between these 2 teams. Obviously, that's one way to look at it. Then you see the other side, well, if you have only played 2 innings, you're down 18-0 too. And so there's 2 different ways to look at it, and obviously that, the first way is, as a player on the team, is what you really have to be looking at, as it counts 1-1 here to Trenton Fisher, because looking the other way is not going to do any good for the confidence or anything for you to try and pick yourself back up, whether it is in this game or going into Sunday. 1-1 pitch, missing low, and it's 2-1.
And I think the other big thing too to take into Sunday is, if you look at the scores of both games tonight, both games don't look great, but essentially you hung in there for the majority of the doubleheader tonight with a team that's really right next to you in the standings. So you know that you belong if you're the Govs. And I think the biggest thing is you can't control what happened tonight. You just got to put it behind you and play your best ball on Sunday and then going into the playoffs as well.
Counts 3-2 here to Trenton Fisher, the leadoff man in the batting order. Harrisburg is now the new number 1 team, but you look at 2, 3, and 4 in the standings, you got wins over 2, 3, and 4.
Yep.
That was on the outside edge for strike 3, and Northrop's got back-to-back strikeouts in the inning, 3 in a row, back to the top of the 4th, and there's 2 down, and it brings up Charlie Huners. Now, the flip side of things is that you look at Jefferson, who's in 12th, and Washington is in 15th. You got two losses against those teams as well, and that's not. Also on the other side is where, again, you got to play good baseball. You can't just assume that you're going to come in here and win baseball games regardless of who you're playing. When you play good baseball, though, this Pierre Governor team plays good baseball. We've seen them sweep Lincoln, split with Brandon Valley, and they split on Tuesday with Stevens. You can play with the best teams in the state, but if you don't play well, we've seen the other side of things, and whether this is game 1 is one of them or anything else, that Washington and Jefferson being 4-12 is probably the biggest head scratcher in the world, because watching them play baseball a couple weekends ago, and that one's over first strike, the count's 1-2. I am at a loss. I almost think there's somebody lying somewhere that Jefferson's 4-12 in South Dakota games, because they are a much better baseball team than being 4-12 in the state. 1-2 pitch. Huners will take that one upstairs. The count's now 2-2. But it is, again, where if Pierre moves up a spot, they'd take on Jefferson in the playoffs right now. Right now they'd be facing Yankton, and obviously we'll see Yankton on Sunday. But I don't know if Jefferson's the spot that you want to be, any team wants to be going into the playoffs and saying, hey, we get to play Jefferson in the first round over a team like Rapid City Central or Mitchell or Sturgis or Washington. We're going to go play Jefferson. We'd rather play them in the first round. I don't think anybody's going to say that. There's a ground ball on the left side. Kate Kaiser will get around it. His throw to first will just not be in time. And it'll be a 2-out infield single for Charlie Huners, who is now 2 for 4 in the ball game.
Yeah, just another one that finds the hole in between Hunsley and Kaiser, and was hit softly enough that Kaiser had to Kaiser was able to get around on it, but strong throw to first, not able to get Huners. Huners beats it by probably 2.5 steps, and that extends the inning for the Knights into the hands of their big boppers in Schlimgen and possibly Denboer if he's able to get to the plate if Schlimgen gets aboard.
He's 2 for 2 is Schlimgen. 2 singles and also drew a walk in his 3 trips to the plate right now. With a runner on first and 2 outs here in the top of the 5th, 0-1 pitch is upstairs, and the count's now 1-1. Northrop trying to do his best to keep this at 7-0 heading into the bottom of the 5th inning, and allow the Governors their best opportunity to score the least amount of runs, but even though it has to still be over a handful of runs, still give them the best opportunity and the least amount of runs to tie this ball game up. As it counts 1-2 now here to Schlimgen. It will be 5, 6, and 7 for the Governors, and Hunsley, Sonnenschein, and Northrop due up to start the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-2 pitch. That one just missing, maybe a little bit outside. And the count's now 2-2. Not a bad pitch there from Northrop, but a take from Schlimgen. Looking to get out of the inning is Northrop. Put up a 0 on the scoreboard. 2-2 pitch. That one just missing as well, just a bit outside. Schlimgen thought about offering at it, was able to hold up. And the count is now full at 3-2, and the runner at first will get a head start in Huners.
Yeah, and I think Schlimgen really wanted that one, but like you said, good eye at the plate, was able to hold up.
3-2 pitch. That one he reached for to spoil, and we'll do it again at 3-2. 7 runs on 10 hits and no errors for O'Gorman. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Governors. The only 2 guys that have reached base was Northrop and Twilliger with back-to-back hits, a single and a double, kicking off the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Govs failed to cash in that 3rd inning, which would have given them the lead. As that one is taken for strike 3, Northrop will strike out the side, 2 looking in the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the 5th, 7-0 lead for O'Gorman over Pierre. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
If you're like a lot of South Dakotans, you've made a purchase online for services or products and have had no issues. Unfortunately, scammers view the internet as their playground, and they're constantly deploying new scams to attempt to take your hard-earned funds. Fraudulent websites have grown by leaps. Consumers and businesses need to check all aspects of a website before making any type of purchase. Questions regarding this scam should be directed to South Dakota Attorney General's Consumer Protection at 800-300-1986.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not to mention, it's a decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
It is the bottom of the 5th. No 7-0 score for O'Gorman over Pierre. As it will be 5, 6, and 7. Grayson Hunsley, Sutton Sunshine, as well as also Weston Northrup. And Cooper Twilliger will hit if anybody reaches base to kick off the 5th inning. As Ryland Arbogast has been able to go through 4 shutout innings so far and working into the 5th. Been efficient. It wasn't as efficient as you would have hoped in the first couple innings, but been efficient with the 4 shutout innings so far to this point.
Yeah, don't think you can ask for much more from Ryland Arbogast. Heck, with a last name like Arbogast, you almost expect an outing like this at this point. You know, whether they're wearing the jersey of the O'Gorman Knights or the Renner Post 307 Royals. I mean, when you got a last name like Arbogast and you're on the mound, you expect really good things and really good results, and that's what we're seeing tonight out of Ryland here tonight.
I know that, you know, people outside of Pierre probably say the same thing about several different families around Pierre, but you always think just when you see a name like Arbogast and others in the state, you're going, can't they all just graduate and get out of here? Like, we don't really want to see these guys anymore. And, of course, you know, Reese Arbogast was so good for so many years for O'Gorman and for Renner. And now Ryland is showing no different. The first time that we're really seeing him, I don't think we saw him at all last year.
Yeah, I don't think we did either.
In the regular season or for the Renner Royals. But it just adds on to a list of names that we're probably happy to see graduate whenever they do, as that one would be outside the Countdown 1 and 2. Obviously, one name on the baseball team that comes to mind is the Zabel family, and after one leaves, there's another one, then another one leaves, and here comes the third one. 1-2 pitch. That'll be fouled at the plate. The count remains at 1 and 2. I think there's a lot of people that are taking solace that the last Zabel is graduating from Pierre in any sport.
Yep, absolutely.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and a strikeout of Hunsley to start the bottom of the 5th inning. And it brings up Sutton Sunshine. Sunshine, he ground out to the shortstop in his first at bat. Weston Northrup is on deck. He did a good job working around the 2-out single in the 5th inning. He's got 4 strikeouts in the 6 guys that he's faced. First pitch is over for strike 1 to Sutton Sunshine. Sunday, we've got coverage starting at 12:45. First pitch at 1 o'clock for Mother's Day matinee baseball. They'll honor the mothers and grandmothers of the players before the game. 0-1 pitch. Sunshine will fly this out to shallow right field. Then Bohr will come in to make the catch, and there's 2 down to bring up Weston Northrup. Northrup singled and then was thrown out between third and trying to score on the ground ball from Matthew Brewer. One that maybe turned the tide for in O'Gorman's favor. The Governors said second and third, nobody out. Ran themselves into a double play. Didn't score in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and then the top of the 4th end up with a 7-run inning where they lead by that score right now, 7-0. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1 to Northrup. He's got one of those 2 hits. 1-0 pitch. That'll miss low and away. The count's now 2-0.
Looking at scores from around Major League Baseball, for those interested, the Minnesota Twins win against the Toronto Blue Jays tonight 3-2 in what has been their 16th win in their last 18 games. On the flip side, currently in the bottom of the 6th, the Milwaukee Brewers have a 7-0 lead on the St. Louis Cardinals.
I think that might be their 16th loss in 18 games. It's not, but it's close. So we've got the 2-1 pitches upstairs, and the count's now 3-1. I think it'll be at least their 6th in a row that they'll lose.
6th in a row, you said?
I think so. 3-1 pitch. It'd start to lose count after so many losses in a row. 3-2 is the count here to Weston Northrop.
Yeah, it'll be 6 in a row tonight.
Appreciate you confirming that for me. Here's a 3-2 pitch. There's a ground ball up the middle, fielded by Huners at short. The throw to first will be in time, and it is another 1-2-3 inning for Ryland Arbogast. We head to the top of the 6th, 7-0 lead for O'Gorman. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
AGE Corporation's Contractors and Crane Service is a proud supporter of Pierre Governor Athletics. For almost 60 years, AGE has been building South Dakota. For all your site work construction and crane work needs this season, AGE is here to help. Give them a call. AGE Corporation and Crane Service, 223-2732. That's 223-2732. AGE, proud supporters of local sports.
At AgTegra, we're leveraging the power of the cooperative to benefit our farmers and ranchers, their families, and local communities. We're creating jobs for your neighbors and putting money back into our communities. We're lending a hand in our rural fire departments, food banks, and 4-H and FFA programs. That's what local is all about. When you do business at AgTegra, you help us make a difference in your community. AgTegra, strong, stable, dependable, and local.
Top of the 6th inning, that is a 7-0 lead on the American Family Insurance Brittany Schuffelbein scoreboard, as it is going to be 4, 5, and 6 for the O'Gorman Knights. Hunter Denboer, Zach Dunham, and Brogan Moffitt be the first 3 hitters against Northrop. Also, my brother said that we forgot to mention that the Braves are beating the Mets right now.
We did?
He apparently said we forgot to do that, even though we only said 2 scores anyway.
Yeah.
But I guess that was of concern to him.
Okay. And say they're neither of our favorite teams, so.
Hunter Denboer probably should. No, I won't switch teams. I don't want to get caught saying that. That's a little harsh, and a little too terrible to say. First pitch is missing low for ball 1 to Hunter Denboer, who is 1 for 2 with an RBI single. Did that in the top of the 4th inning.
You've lived here long enough. You can switch to being a Twins fan.
I'd rather not. For 1-0 pitches, popped foul. That'll get out of play.
Can't say that I blame you.
And the count is 1-1. I would say if there is an NBA team that I'd have to be a fan of, it would probably be the Timberwolves. Mostly because they didn't have an NBA team. Still don't have an NBA team.
I see. I've watched too much bad basketball for so long for you to say that you're going to be a Timberwolves fan now.
I did tell you that a couple. I did tell you that a couple years ago.
Yeah,
though.
that's fair. You did.
As it counts 2-1.
And you don't really follow the NBA like that, so.
Yeah, and truthfully, if I was following a team, it was the Timberwolves over any of the other 29. Counts 2-1 here to Hunter Denboer. This will be popped up right side, and that'll be out of play. And the count's 2-2.
I really haven't paid much attention to the NHL on the flip side. How were the Blues this year?
Jeez Louise. I don't know why you came on the actually, I do know why you came on the broadcast tonight, just to rip me a new one over all my teams. 2-2 pitch. There's a line shot in the left center field. That's going to get down for extra bases, as they'll get all the way to the wall. Into second standing is Denboer. He's got himself a double. And a leadoff double here for the O'Gorman Knights to kick off the top of the 6th inning. And bring up Zach Dunham. And I say that because as soon as Blake was done talking about the Blues, he was already had a smirk on his face, so he knew exactly what he was doing when he was saying that.
It did.
And I can't say anything either because you're not an NHL guy.
I'm not.
So you don't really have a favorite team.
I mean, if I did, ironically, the reason I got even into the NHL is not because, I mean, the team that I follow probably the closest, and by close I say I cheer for them when they're good, is the Pittsburgh Penguins. But that's because one of my good friends growing up, his dad was from Eastern Ohio, grew up pretty close to Pittsburgh, and was a big fan of all of their games and went to all their games and stuff. So, of course, then his kids are all Pittsburgh fans. Converted me into a NHL Pittsburgh fan because that was the one sport that I didn't really have an allegiance as far as team-wise, and it was fun then because they were winning Stanley Cups left and right, so it made it really easy to cheer for the Penguins at that time, and now that they're, not as good, I just kind of have fizzled out on my fandom, but...
Count is 1-2 here to Zach Dunham, who had an RBI double in his last trip to the plate. He'll foul that one away, and the count remains at 1-2.
I think as I'm saying this to you, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like I'm digging an even deeper hole, but from the perspective of the play-by-play man here next to me.
Yeah, it's not getting any better for you. Here's a 1-2 pitch from Northrop. And this will be popped foul. That will be just to the left of the press box, and it will just...
You had a chance there.
I had a chance, but it stays up on the little...
Overhang.
Overhang, yeah. Get a fishnet up here.
Absolutely.
That still wouldn't have helped me at that point, but a fishnet would probably help me a little bit. There's a swing and a foul.
It would increase your odds.
It would increase my odds. As Dunham fouled it away, Denboer was off of the pitch. And he will go back to second. Count remains at 1-2.
But then people look at you like you're, the negative outlook of bringing the glove to the game to catch a foul ball.
This one will be skied towards left center field, more towards center field as Stalley will make the catch. Runner will fake the tag, and the throw coming into third, and there's one down here in the top of the sixth inning. And it will bring up now Brogan Moffitt. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI. Moffitt, then Stukel. Leadoff double by Denboer, and Northrop will try and work his way out of this potential jam here in the top of the sixth inning. First pitch, over for strike one. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, to finish that thought, would people look at you the same as bringing the glove to the game to catch a foul ball is the same way bringing the fishnet to the press box? Is that kind of the same connotation?
I think it might get a weirder look than someone bringing a glove to a game.
Yeah, maybe.
The NBA, it was the Pacers that didn't win over the Knicks, so 111 to 106 to make that a 2-1 series. That one just got done with not too long ago, and the Timberwolves are just underway. That's over for a strike. The count's now 1-2. T-Wolves are up 10-9 with 6:55 to go in the first quarter.
It's early.
Panthers, they win over the Bruins in the NHL and take a 2-1 series lead, 6-2. They have not had a close game in any of those 3 games so far. Bruins destroyed the Panthers in game 1, and the Panthers routed the Bruins in games 2 and 3. There's a fly ball towards right center field, and getting down for extra bases for Dunham. Make that for Moffitt, driving in another run to make it 8-0. They'll switch places with the Denboer, and it's an 8-0 lead here for O'Gorman in the top of the sixth inning. Second RBI of the ball game for Moffitt. His first extra base hit and third RBI overall today. So runner on second again here with one out. Jack Stukel to the plate. He uses 1 for 1, singled in the second. Then he walked both times he came to the plate in the fourth inning. The first pitch is outside for ball 1.
And again, my NHL knowledge is virtually non-existent, but based on what I've seen and what I've heard, the Florida Panther offense is next level when they're clicking all the way. Is that fair to say?
That is very fair to say. 1-0 pitch is a swing and a miss, and the count's 1-1. Rangers are 7-0 in the playoffs right now. They're a 3-0 series lead on Carolina, and the Timberwolves are trying to be the only other team between the NBA and the NHL to start 7-0 in the playoffs. The T-Wolves have already done that with those two wins on the road in this next series, where the Rangers were able to get 2 wins at home before winning on the road last night. Counts 2-1 to Jack Stukel.
So what you're saying is what the T-Wolves have done thus far is more difficult than what the Rangers...
I would say yes.
To this point, anyways.
To this point, yep.
Okay.
there's a swing and a foul. And if anybody is paying attention to hockey or paying attention to basketball only, that the Rangers and the T-Wolves are on the equivalent of each other being the best team in the playoffs or being undefeated and really looking good to this point. There is a team comparative to each other. 2-2 pitch. Stukel will take that one high, maybe a little outside. The count's now 3-2. Andrew Bloom is on deck. 8-0 is their score here in the top of the 6th inning. As we close in on 9 o'clock at KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station. He's Blake Dean. I'm John Winkler. Jen Brazilius back at the station. A 7-run 4th inning has been the doom of the Govs so far in this ball game. 1 run is scored so far here in the 6th. But a 11-run 6th inning in game 1 gave the Governors, or O'Gorman, a 15-4 win over the Governors. That one will be missing low for ball 4 in his first and second here with 1 out. And we'll bring up Andrew Bloom, the catcher, with now the 10th run standing on at first base. With 1 out here in the 6th inning. Governors, if they don't come back here today, we'll have to really, and we'll see how the standings shake out going into Sunday. But we'll really have to make sure they win a couple ball games, at least win 1 ball game against Yankton on Sunday to make sure that they stay at home in the playoffs and host that first-round series, trying to make the state tournament. Of course, it is the top 8 that will host. It will be a best of 2 of 3, just like you see in Legion baseball, that super regional round, like you would see in the College World Series, in that NCAA tournament. The best of 2 of 3 will advance to the state tournament, and it won't be like the College World Series then with those 8 teams. It'll end up being a single elimination tournament on that Friday and Saturday. We can only assume that would be the 4 first-round games on Friday and then the semifinals and state championship on Saturday. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Ground ball to the right side, fielded by Peterson. Flip to the bag for 1. The throw back to first is in time to get the inning-ending double play. Didn't look like maybe they're going to get that in time, but a 4-6-3 double play ends the inning. And the Governors get out of it with limited damage. 1 run scores on 2 hits in the inning. There are no errors and 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the 6th. 8-0 lead for O'Gorman over Pierre. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Spoken Peterson LLP has been your local CPA firm for over 40 years, offering tax preparation, bookkeeping, payroll, and consulting services. If your business, farm, or ranch needs professional, accurate, and reliable services, we are your firm. Our clients are our #1 priority. If you need a higher level of accounting service, give us a call at 65224-5828. That's Stolken Peterson LLP, 222 East Missouri Avenue in Pierre. Comtech, your local technology solutions provider, is now located on the truck bypass. With great brands like Bose, Sonos, LG, Samsung, Lenovo, and so much more. Stop in to see their new showroom for everything in stock for your personal or business needs. Comtech provides professional installation and service after the sale. Comtech is your local technology store, located now on the truck bypass, or visit us on the web at comtechplus.com. It is the bottom of the 6th inning. The Pierre Governors are down 8-0 on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebine scoreboard. And it will be 8-9-1. Cooper Twilliger, Matthew Brewer, and Nolan Peterson. Anybody reaches base, it'll be Cade Kaiser with the Govs. Down by 8 here in the bottom of the 6th. John Wickler alongside Blake Dean as we roll in here to the bottom of the 6th inning. Govs have struggled, and again, it's hard to say they've really struggled. The scores are looking lopsided, and they are. But when you look at the box score itself and start looking at how those innings go, then again, 2 innings out of, if you take the 6th inning out of game number 1, it's a 4-4 tie. If you take the 4th inning out of this ball game right now, it's a 1-0 ball game. That doesn't mean that the Governors have won baseball games, but especially this time of the year, you can't hang your head at any point of any loss because you got to be ready for. At this point, you have to be ready for Sunday, as it counts 0-2 here to Terwilliger. But you got to be ready to go for the next game because the season is down to the final stretch and getting in the playoffs next weekend. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Terwilliger. Swing and a miss for strike 3. And Arbogast starts the 6th inning with a strikeout. And that is strikeout number 6 for Arbogast. And it brings out Spencer Easland, for in place of Matthew Brewer.
Yeah, good opportunity here for Easland to see Arbogast, see some quality pitching before he goes into Sunday as well. Not that he didn't see quality pitching in Game 1, because he certainly did, but another opportunity to get him an at-bat here late in the ball game here in Game 2.
1-0 pitch is over for a strike. The count's now 1-1. And regardless if the Governors end up at home or on the road next weekend, we'll have coverage of baseball for you, whether it be Friday and Saturday or just Friday. However it goes, we'll see how the schedule goes. You know, when you think about the Legion Super Regional round, you play one game on the first day, and then you play the second and, if necessary, Game 3 on the next day. This will be popped up. This one's got somewhat of a chance. Nope, it bounced way too low. It landed way too far away. Counts 1-2.
Looked like the trajectory was right, just didn't have enough distance on it.
Need a little bit lower, a little bit harder to come back here. Almost, as much as I hate to say it, almost need a hard line drive. There's a hard line drive, but it's going to be sinking in for a base hit. And Spencer Easland is on. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be coming off the bats, but it does fall in for a bloop single, and it's leadoff man aboard here to open up the bottom of the 6th, or 1-out single here at the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, and the first hit for the Govs since the back-to-back hits from Northrop and Terwilliger in the 3rd inning. So Arbogast has really done a phenomenal job on the mound up to that point, and really that ball from Easland not hit overly hard as Peterson watches ball 1, but to that point, you don't need to hit it a million miles an hour for it to count as a hit in the scorebook. So, put the ball where the fielders aren't, and that's the recipe for success.
There's a base hit where the fielders aren't, right through the hole on the right side for Peterson. Back-to-back singles, and the Governors have first and second here in the bottom of the 6th. It ended a streak of 9 in a row retired by Arbogast, and now it's 2 singles that, again, aren't real hard-hit balls, but for Peterson, good placement of it. Easland was able to drop in. And that's first and second. Now Cade Kaiser's got a chance to cut into this 8-0 deficit. He's 0 for 2. And he'll fly that one out towards right center field. Backing up is the center fielder to make the catch in Schlimgen. Tagging from second to third is Easland. And it's first and third now with 2 away. And a little bit of extra win for Kaiser that we don't have anymore. Would have been helpful to potentially get that out of there for a second home run today. But it is the second out, and it's first and third for George Staley to try and at least drive in the game's first run for Pierre.
Kaiser hit that ball as hard as we've seen a ball off the bat against Arbogast here all night, but just right into the waiting arms of the center fielder, but the runner advances from second to third here with 2 outs and an opportunity for Staley to drive in the first run of the night for the Govs here in Game 2.
First pitch is upstairs for ball 1 to Staley. He was 0 for 2. Struck out swinging in the first and flew out to left in the third. Swings and fouls it off the mask of the catcher in Bloom, and the count's 1-1. Top of the 7th for O'Gorman. It'll be 9-1-2. The Govs would like to cut into this deficit before we get to that 7th inning. Easland away from third. Peterson on at first. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Arbogast. That is upstairs, and the count's now 2-1. So Sunday, the finale, regular season finale for the state. It's not just for the Governors, and really there's only Douglas and Sturgis on the schedule besides Pierre and Yankton, with a lot of teams playing Saturday. There's actually a lot of games scheduled for Monday and Tuesday for teams across the state, but it is the Sunday, the official day of the end of the season, so everything that they would play on Monday and Tuesday would not count for anything, but also it would count for pitch count. So those teams that are playing Monday and Tuesday have to make sure that they keep their pitchers. If they're not going to use them on the weekend, they can let them go however long. But if they're going to use them on the weekend, they have to make sure that they keep them under the pitch count to allow them to pitch on the weekend, whether it be Friday, Saturday, or the potential of maybe if it rains that you can play Sunday still. As it counts 2-1 to Stalley after the mound visit. Throw back to first on the pitch that was high, and the count's 3-1, and Pearson back there without a problem. But it is the regular season finale for the Governors, and this is a team that you hope's not going the other way from where they were last year when they were trending up. You don't want them to be trending down at this time of the year. 3-1 pitch is at the top of the zone. The count's 3-2.
And really, to that point about the games on Monday and Tuesday, those are probably games, like you said, for their exhibitions for teams that guys down the bottom of the roster or guys can kind of play out of position, getting some at bats to your younger guys as Stalley swings and misses for strike 3 and ends the bottom of the 6th. But I think that's probably why they schedule those games, is so that those younger players or guys that don't get as many opportunities can get some near the end of the season and maybe prove something come playoff time if they have some momentum.
No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base in the 6th. We head to the 7th. Pierre is down 8-0 to O'Gorman. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
As community bankers, BankWest employees are deeply committed to supporting local causes, growing the local economy, and creating local opportunities. At a time when you can bank anywhere, we hope you choose BankWest. We'll be your financial partner for the long haul, helping you and your community achieve financial success. BankWest. Convenient, connected, committed. Member FDIC.
Nystrom Electrical Contracting in Pierre has been providing professional sales, service, and installation since 1977. Whether you're starting from scratch, new construction, or you're upgrading your current system at your home, farm, or office, give the professionals at Nystrom Electrical Contracting a call. They've got a lot of bright ideas. Call Nystrom's today to schedule a free computer-generated estimate. The number is 224-8750, or visit their website at nystromelectric.com. Top of the 7th, there is an 8-0 lead for O'Gorman over the Pierre Governors on the American Family Insurance and Brittany Schuffelbein scoreboard, and it will be 9-1-2. It'll be Billy Leibel, Trenton Fisher, and Charlie Huners. He might reach his base. It'll be Sully Schlimgen. As Western Northrop will try and keep this still an 8-0 deficit going to the bottom of the 7th, where the Governors will have 4, 5, and 6 in that 7th inning. Again, coverage will start at 12:45 on Sunday. Yankton here in Pierre. First pitch at 1 o'clock on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. First pitch, Leibel will chop this one foul. And it counts 0-1. Leibel so far, he is 0 for 2. Drew a walk back in the 4th inning. Flew out of the center fielder, struck out swinging in his other 2 trips to the plate. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's upstairs, and the count's now 1-1. Blake, how's the slow pitch softball team going?
We've won 1 game. We've played 4 games thus far. So we started the season off slow, and we're starting to build some positive momentum.
I heard that you beat your brother's team.
We did. We rode the back of our best player, who hit 3 homers in that game.
This will be flown out towards right center field, but Stalley will patrol it and make the catch. The leadoff man retired here in the top of the 7th. Basically, what I was trying to get at, too, is that you get some bragging rights over in the family over your brother to at least winning the first game. Hopefully that stays and beats him again if you guys play him again.
Yeah, this was their first slot of games was yesterday. And so I think that they were kind of working out the first week jitters, as really everybody does. But, they moved up because they were playing in the B division last year, and they've moved up to the A division this year. So they'll win some games. I don't think they'll win as many as they did last year necessarily, but they'll be competitive come the end of the season.
Counts 2-0 here to Trenton Fisher. 2-0 pitch will miss, and it's now 3-0. How nice of you to be supportive of your brother's softball team. Do you think he would be as supportive if he was on the air right now talking about your team?
Probably not.
Here's the 3-0 pitch. That is over for a strike. The count's now 3-1. You did at least hesitate a little bit, so it makes you feel a little bit better that he might think about it a little bit. But
I
still,
feel like he would be cordial to start with, but if you kept digging, he probably wouldn't be.
So if I keep digging, will you start to hammer in on him? That one's upstairs and it'd be ball 4.
Like against him, you mean?
Yeah, just in general, start talking trash against him. No?
No, I'll leave that for off the air.
Charlie Hughes will come to the plate. He is 2 for 4, RBI single in the 4th inning. Here's the first pitch. Miss outside for ball 1. No beef is starting between Blake and Bennett.
No. Although he tried to start some earlier, but we won't talk about it.
Here's the 1-0 pitch from Northrop. This will be skied out into center field. Stalley is coming in on it, and he'll make the catch. 2 down here in the top of the 7th. And the Governors will have 4, 5, and 6 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Charlie Simpson, Grayson Hunsley, and Sutton Sunshine. Of course, right now they need at least an 8-run rally in that 7th inning.
Regardless of the outcome of this at bat and really the rest of the game, how about the effort from Weston Northrop that he's given the Govs tonight on the mound? 3 total innings. He's only given up 3 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Coming in relief of J.J. Buckles in that big 4th inning that the Knights had, slammed the door right away, and really has been pretty effective since that time.
This will be skied out towards right field. Coming down the line, Sunshine long run. It will land foul. And the count goes now 0-2.
And one of those strikeouts was a strikeout looking of Sully Schlimgen, who...
Be nice to do it again.
Absolutely. I mean, you're a strike away from doing that again. And like I said, regardless of the outcome of this at bat or the rest of the night, big time effort from Weston Northrop tonight.
0-2 pitch. And Schlimgen will get a ground ball foul that will keep the count at 0-2. Dunmore looking for a chance to hit here in the 7th inning, but Northrop looking to get out of this with allowing just that 1-out walk. Runner on first and 2 away here in the top of the 7th. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That'll miss low and away. The count's 1-2. Check some scores across the state. Again, just 2 other games going on right now that we are concerned of. It's a 6-2 lead for the Jefferson Cavaliers as the 1-2 will miss low and away. The count's now 2-2. That's midway through the 6th inning. And then it's a 4-4 tie between Stevens and T. That is in the top of the 4th inning, so that is a good game for both those teams. T trying to stay above 500 and have to get a win as they sit at 9-9 now on the season. 2-2 pitch. And it will be flown out towards right field. It'll be Sunshine who can't find it. And it will drop in, and it will end up being a double for Schlimgen. And it's 2nd and 3rd here with 2 outs.
Yeah, Sunshine looked like he really didn't find it off the bat and just lost it up in the lights. Because Ball landed about 5 to 7 feet behind him to his left, and he really didn't stick up his glove at all to try and make a catch. So definitely lost it up in the lights. Didn't read it off the bat, and Schlimgen stands at second. As a result, runners on second and third.
So now here is Denboer that can add on to this lead. Here's the first pitch from Northrop. It's over for strike one. That's those are always hard.
Yep.
To give a base hit or an error, because you can't blame Sunshine who just didn't see it. He's obviously not trying. He's trying to find it in there, and it didn't hit his glove. Didn't and it's not always that if it doesn't touch you, it's a base hit or whatever. It can still be an error, but nothing that is his fault by losing it in the night sky or whatever it is. But then you feel bad for Western Northrop that if any of these runs come in, that it's earned against him because it ends up being a base hit. So it's a no-win situation for either one of the guys or anybody on the field on a play like that. 0-1 pitch. Outside, the count's 1-1.
Yeah, you're right. Just a no-win situation for either the pitcher or the fielder. I guess really the only win that you get on the field is the guy that hits the ball and gets a free double out of the situation.
Yeah, looks like it was a hard hit ball to the wall for a double.
Right.
1-1 pitch is fouled back, and the count goes to now 1-2. And again, Northrop trying to get out of this seventh inning. Send us to the bottom of the seventh with the Governors, who will try and hopefully just have to make a 8-run comeback. Northrop will get the sign from Simpson. He'll come set. 1-2 pitch. Line shot. That's a base hit. 1 run will come in to score. They will send the other run in. It's a 10-0 ball game. 2-run single for Denboer, and it's 10-0 for O'Gorman here in the top of the seventh.
Yeah, curveball from Northrop, and Denboer does what he's done all year. Line the ball to the outfield, and 2 runs come in to score. RBI machine. The other half of the RBI machine for the O'Gorman Knights, and that makes the lead 10-0 here in the top of the seventh.
First pitch is upstairs for ball 1. 10 runs and 14 hits for O'Gorman. No runs, 4 hits for the Governors. And they'll still get at least a shot to hit in the bottom of the seventh inning. That 1-0 will miss outside. The count's 2-0.
And they will likely get a chance to do it against Arbogast, who has a chance to come out and throw a complete game, as he's only thrown 87 pitches through 6 innings thus far.
2-0 pitch is taken for a strike, and the count's now 2-1. So he'll have 18 pitches to work with in the seventh inning, and we'll see if he can get through the seventh inning or if the Governors will have to force O'Gorman to go to the bullpen. 2-1 pitch will miss low. The count's now 3-1. And at this point for Northrop and for the Governors, where they're sitting at in this ball game, and where Northrop not going to be able to pitch on Sunday, they'll probably allow him to just fill up as much as he can and throw every pitch that he possibly can, regardless of if he gets out of this inning or not, as it will be a walk. And it's not that he has not pitched bad. You mentioned it too. He did a really good job in that 4th, 5th, and 6th innings to limit how many runs have scored. And obviously, again, he's tagged with those two runs in this 7th inning, but he did his job to get the fly ball to get out of the inning. It was unfortunate that Sunshine lost it whether it be in the lights or over the top of the lights, to not make the play, and the inning continued. But Northrop has done the job that they wanted him to do, and he did a very good job tonight, regardless of how this inning ends, whether it's still 10-0 or not at the end of the 7th inning. Counts 0-1 here to the number 6 man in Brogan Moffitt. That one will miss low, and the count's now 1-1.
Yeah, you can't ask much more of a guy who came into tonight having only thrown 5 innings all year to come in and throw 3 1/3, and really a really quality 3 1/3 on top of that against the number 5 team in the state.
Counts 2-1 here to Moffitt. First and second with 2 outs. 2-1. This will be popped foul. It's now 2-2. And again, a strike away and 1 pitch away here for Northrop to get out of this 7th inning and get us to the bottom of the 7th. Ball game has gone over the 2-hour mark here in game 2 of our doubleheader. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Upstairs, and the count's now 3-2, and those guys at first and second will get a head start again. Denmore and Dunham will both take off the pitch. Northrop will come set from the stretch. The 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, and Northrop will get the strikeout to end the inning here in the top of the 7th. 2 runs score in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We head to the bottom of the 7th. 10-0 O'Gorman leads over Pierre. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping wants to make it easy for you to get that lush green lawn and that yard haven that you've been dreaming of. Visit dakotasprinkler.com to make appointments for sprinkler system spring startup, service calls, fall winterization, and landscaping quotes. Trust Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping's professionals to get you through the planning and installation to make your landscaping needs a reality. Visit dakotasprinkler.com today.
With any dream, the wind won't always be at your back, the sun won't always be shining, and some rain is going to fall. American Family Insurance is like a good solid roof that you can trust to protect your biggest dreams. With plans that could save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. Also, you can continue to dream fearlessly, no matter what comes your way. American Family Insurance.
Visit mfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Contact the Brittany Shufflebind Agency, LLC, 224-6627. It is the bottom of the 7th. Pierre Governors need a 10-run comeback as they will go with Charlie Simpson, Grayson Hunsley, Sutton Sun and Shine, 4, 5, and 6 to start this bottom of the 7th. John Wickler alongside Blake Dean here on this Friday night from Hyatt Stadium. It was a beautiful night for baseball weather-wise. And unfortunately for the Governors, have found themselves being outscored by 11 in the first game, and right now down 10 here in game number 2. Charlie Simpson, 0 for 2. Grounded out and flew out in his first 2 trips to the plate. Arbogast with now 17 pitches remaining. First pitch is fouled to the left side by Simpson. At one point, retired 9 straight, opened up the game, retiring the first 6 men he faced. Here's the 0-1 pitch. As upstairs, and the count's 1-1.
Yeah, 18 pitches to work with left for Arbogast, and like we talked about the half inning prior, I don't think that he's going to definitely use all 18 before they have to pull him out of the ball game.
1-1 pitch is outside. The count's now 2-1. And I think for O'Gorman, they really don't want to have to go to the bullpen. Governors would like to see them have to go to the bullpen, which would mean that they've been able to work counts and get some base hits in this 7th inning as the 2-1 pitch is upstairs. And the count's now 3-1. So he's down to 14 pitches remaining here in the ball game. And a good hitter's count here for Charlie Simpson. See if he can get a pitch to drive. 3-1 from Arbogast. He'll pop that one foul and out of play. The count's 3-2. Again, he can get past the 105 pitch count mark as long as he does so in that at-bat. Looking for a strikeout of Simpson. 3-2 pitch from Arbogast. Taken for strike 3. And there's one down here in the 7th inning. And it brings up Grayson Hunsley. Be strikeout number 8 for Arbogast. Had 2 in the first, 1 in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 2 in the 6th, and another here in the 7th. First pitch to Hunsley. He struck out swinging his first at bat. That's taken for ball 1. Nobody warming up out in the left field bullpen for O'Gorman, which would tell you that either the coach is expecting Arbogast to get out of this 7th inning without getting to the 105 pitch count, or that guy will come in from the field to throw the final, to try and get the final either out or 2. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Hunsley. Swing and miss, and it's now 1-2.
And honestly, looking at the Knights bullpen, you know, their closer is probably Charlie Huners, but really in terms of ERA and runs allowed, they might go to Denboer as Hunsley strikes out for out number 2. Because Denboer, I'm guessing, you know, he's only thrown 2 innings this year, but he throws, you know, watching him throw from the outfield tonight, he's really got an arm on him, so I wouldn't be surprised if Arbogast isn't able to finish the game if they turn to somebody like a Denboer to finish the game.
Well, there's 2 outs. Hunsley is struck out swinging, and it's now a sudden sun and shine. The Governors have a long rally in front of them if they want to come back in the ball game. First pitch misses low for ball 1 to Sun and Shine, who is 0 for 2. Just 4 hits in the ball game. As Northrup, Terwilliger, Easland, and Peterson have the 4 hits. As that one is upstairs, and the count's now 2-0. And for Northrup, Terwilliger, and Easland, that is 7, 8, and 9 in the batting order. Then Peterson, the leadoff man. Governor's got back-to-back hits in the 3rd, back-to-back hits in the 6th. But failed to cash in any runs. 2-0 pitch is over for a strike. The count's now 2-1. And could be most likely the turning point in that game with that double header, or the double play. With the 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. Governor's grounded into an out and end up being a double play. And that turned into Governor's not scoring in that 3rd inning, and then the 7-run 4th inning that is the difference. Big difference in the game. Counts 2-2 here to Sun and Shine. Arbogast looking to strike out the side in order and then finish out the ball game. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss in the mitts, and that will end the ball game. A 10-0 win for O'Gorman, a doubleheader sweep for the Knights here on the Friday nights. We'll come back and wrap it up from Hyatt Stadium in 2 minutes here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Looking for your next new or used car, truck, or SUV? Then go no further than the comfort of your own home. Shop online at lambmotor.com. On lambmotor.com, you'll find the vehicles Lambs has in stock. You can schedule a test drive or your vehicle's next tune-up, all online. New or used, shop for it all online, anywhere you are. Lamb Motor has the right vehicle for you. Lamb Motor in Oneida and online, lambmotor.com.
No one likes to have electrical problems, but when they happen, call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. With over 28 years of experience, Todd's Electric can handle any type of electrical problem, whether it's residential, commercial, or agricultural. Their knowledgeable staff knows and understands the importance of your home, business, or ag facility and are prepared to help. Call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. That's 223-2518. Todd's Electric, serving the Pierre and Fort Pierre areas. The line to power.
Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisors understand this. That's why Edward Jones is a proud sponsor of Governor Athletics on KCCR. Go Govs! For all your investment needs, call or stop by one of our offices to visit with your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisor. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Hey you. Are you at a job that is fulfilling, has good benefits to support you or a family today, and retirement goes down the road? If you just said no, listen up. CHS River Plains is hiring operations personnel, drivers, and custom applicators at several locations. These come with a knockout affordable benefit package for you and the whole family. Apply to a job with CHS River Plains and up your benefits straight up. To apply, visit us online at chsriverplains.com or stop in at one of our locations. CHS is an equal opportunity employer.
As we welcome you back here, the Pierre Governors, they fall in the doubleheader to the O'Gorman Knights, 15-4 in Game 1, and then also end up being 10-0 here in Game number 2. John McClure alongside Blake Dean. And Blake, you take out 2 innings, and obviously, those 2 innings were a big deal. 18 runs scored for O'Gorman between those 2 innings, but the final score and the result, if those 2 big innings are zeros, the Governors are still going to be 0-2 tonight, but it's going to be a lot different of a feeling going out of here 0-2 than what it does right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we talked about, I think the biggest thing that you can take away from this doubleheader, if you're the Govs, is limiting the big inning, because really the bulk of the runs that O'Gorman scored tonight, they scored 7 runs through 13 innings of baseball. Well, 11 innings of baseball. And then they score 18 runs in 2 innings of baseball. So 2 innings of baseball, they score, over 2/3 of their runs. And so if you're the Governors on the flip side, the thing that you can take away from this doubleheader tonight is limiting the big inning, putting the past behind you, telling yourself, okay, nothing I can do about what just happened a play or 2 ago. I need to focus on making the next play and doing the right thing on this next play to limit the amount of damage that we can sustain, because really in both of those innings, it was one thing led to the next thing, which led to the next thing, and things just kind of really snowballed out of control for the Governors in what was the top of the 6th inning in Game 1 and the top of the 4th inning in Game 2.
Governors out hit here in Game 2 as we go through the totals. 10 runs on 15 hits, no errors, 11 men left on base for O'Gorman. No runs, 4 hits, no errors, and 3 men left on base for the Governors. J.J. Buckles will be picking up the loss, 3 2/3 innings, giving up 9 hits, 7 runs, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Weston Northrup went 3 1/3, giving up 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. Rylan Arbogast, I was going to say Reese Arbogast. It was an
looked like Reese Arbogast tonight.
It was an Arbogast-type pitching performance from Rylan Arbogast. 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, no walks, and 10 strikeouts. The only guys that reached base were the 4 hits that the Governors had. Back-to-back hits to lead off the 3rd, and back-to-back hits with 1 out in the 6th. That was the only 4 guys to reach base, as Arbogast did not walk a guy, and that's a big reason why the Governors couldn't get anything going either. They were able to cash in on a couple on the air from O'Gorman. They forced a couple of unearned runs in the ball game in Game 1. O'Gorman gave them nothing, gave them no free passes in Game 2. And when you're doing that, obviously, if you're going to give up 0 runs, you're going to win a lot of ball games because you're going to win every one of them or be tied 0-0. But you're going to win a lot of ball games if your pitcher goes out and gives you 0 walks and your defense gives you 0 errors.
Yeah, absolutely. And credit O'Gorman, We talk about limiting the big inning for Pierre, but on the flip side, credit O'Gorman, because they came in here tonight and they had a really quality outing from Marsh in Game 1, and then they come back in Game 2 and Arbogast throws an absolute gem in Game 2. 4-hit complete game where, like you said, other than the 4 hits he allows, those are the only guys that reach base. So, credit not only the O'Gorman pitching staff, but credit their defense. Really just a solid doubleheader for the Knights all the way around. And they've got to be feeling pretty good about themselves going into the weekend here, because I don't think they have any regular season games scheduled the rest of the regular season. So they've got to be feeling really good about themselves going into the playoffs.
Yeah, 14-5 that they will finish out the regular season in South Dakota games, 19-10 overall. and they have secured a top 5 spot. Really the only thing was going to be if the Governors swept them and then swept Yankton, is that OG was going to drop below the Pierre Governors. Now that they've done that, they've got themselves a top 5 spot. They know they're hosted next week, Friday. They know they're going to be taking on one of the bottom 5 seeds in the playoffs. And you're right that regardless of how this night went for the Pierre Governors side, O'Gorman's on the other side feeling almost on top of the world, as close as you can without winning a state championship on top of the world. They're feeling really good being the defending state champions, 15-4 and 10-0 at Hyde Stadium.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, when you can go into the house of the defending champs, regardless of how many players they bring back from the previous year's state championship team, if you can go into the house of the team that just won the state championship the year before and beat them as convincingly as the Knights did tonight against the Governors, you feel really, really good about yourself going into the playoffs. And they have every right to. The pitching performances that we saw tonight out of Marsh and Arbogast, and Arbogast is probably both Marsh and Arbogast coming into tonight were, not necessarily their bona fide number one guys as far as number of innings are concerned. Arbogast probably would be your 1 or your 2, but Jake Wheeler's thrown the most innings for him at 37 1/3 this year, and they didn't need him. They threw Arbogast and Marsh. The only other guy over 20 innings this year that's thrown for him is Jackson Bjorkman, but Govs don't see Wheeler, they don't see Bjorkman, they don't see anybody apart from the 2 starters that O'Gorman throws out there in Sam Marsh and Rylan Arbogast. And they come into Hyde Stadium and emphatically put down one really quality pitching performance and one superb pitching performance on top of excellent defense, timely hitting, especially in the 2 big innings that we talked about ad nauseum already to this point. You've got a really good point, John. They have to feel like they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, not only come playoff time, but also possibly if they're able to advance to the state tournament as well.
Real quick, too, that 7-run inning started with an RBI sac fly from Trenton Fisher. Charlie Heener's got an RBI single with Hunter Denbour with an RBI, 2 RBI double from Zach Dunham, and an RBI from Brogan Moffitt. He ended up with another RBI double in the 6th inning and a 2 RBI double from Hunter Denbour for the O'Gorman Knights to win 10-0 in game number 2. That'll wrap things up for us here from Hyde Stadium. Back on the air 12:45 with coverage on Sunday against the Yankton Bucks. Blake, your final thoughts here before we send things back to regular programming.
Like I said, I think that if you're the Govs, 2 biggest things that you got to do tonight are put tonight behind you. You can't control, you got to put tonight behind you, learn from your mistakes tonight, and not let it affect how you come out on Sunday, because it's really easy when the chips are stacked against you and when you don't play very well the games or the day before to let it carry over into Sunday's games. But the Govs really have to let tonight go and come out with newfound energy come Sunday afternoon. This is a big opportunity for them to secure a home playoff series this coming week. And, if they put together 2 quality wins against Yankton, they're going to be able to do that. So biggest thing to take away from tonight is don't let tonight carry over into Sunday, and, come out on Sunday with a little bit of fire and a little bit of chip on your shoulder after a couple of games like this, because if they are able to do that, it'll be really, really fun to see, an angry Pierre Governor team if they're able to string together some hits and put together some quality pitching and defensive performances. Because the other point that I was going to make too is this team can hang with anybody, and they proved that even tonight. The scores might not indicate that, but apart from 2 innings, if you look at 11 innings of O'Gorman baseball compared to 13 innings of of Governor baseball tonight, it's 7-4.
Yeah.
Score-wise. So you know that you can hang with anybody. You can't let the big innings happen. Learn from the mistakes tonight and come out with a chip on your shoulder on Sunday. And I think if they do all of those things, they'll be in a good position to win a couple of games on Sunday and set yourself up to host a home playoff series come next week.
Pierre Governors will take on Yankton Sunday, 12:45 coverage, 1 o'clock. First pitch between Pierre and Yankton coming up on Sunday here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. I want to say thanks to Jen Brazilius back at the station. For Blake Dean, John Winkley here signing off. Pierre Governors drop both games, 15-4 win for O'Gorman in Game 1. They win Game 2, 10-0, as we say good nights from Heights Stadium.
You've been listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Pierre Governor Baseball is brought to you in part by Bank West, Beck Motors, Avera, Todd's Electric, Shane's Pharmacy, and Stoughton Peterson, Walti & Jones, LLP. And by American Family Insurance, Brittany Scheffelbein Agency, Yay Gare, May Adam, Wegner Auto, Comtech, Gales Gas, Owyhee Federal Credit Union, Ferding Electric, and AGE Corporation. Pierre Governor Baseball is also brought to you by Capital City Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota, True Green ChemLawn, Nystrom Electric, Fisher Rounds, Faith Lutheran Church, and CHS River Plains. And by Lamb Motors, First Dakota National Bank, Edward Jones Financial, South Dakota Office of the Attorney General, Division of Consumer Protection, and Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping. Join us all season here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports for more Pierre Governor Baseball. This has been a special presentation